entertaining, even though I did nothing differently. Okay.
Sometimes all it takes is just to whack the TV on the side a bit, you know?
Yeah,
Just give it a
well,
few.
that's what we got. That's what we have these for.
Sometimes it's just that simple.
It is. That said, everyone, we should be live now, I hope, and if not, then I'll cry or something. Um, the first thing I want to see is Pig. Say something. See if people can hear you.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? I'm very sorry. My microphone appears very bad on the or my not my microphone. My webcam appears kind of bad on on the stream, but it's okay.
It's my
We're
fault, actually. It's my
no,
fault.
it's I guess it's just the way this app works. It's like it has like us as two tiny little boxes.
Yeah, so there's a thing with Zoom, and my audience has seen this before. With Zoom, whenever you have multiple people on camera and you have a video that the other person's supposed to be able to listen to, Zoom puts you on this tiny little box, and then I have to grab from that tiny little box to give everybody the images that we see here. And so you're seeing 240p Cirrus, a new version, a new fan art. Please don't put 240p Cirrus in the fan art section. I will fucking cry.
You've already cemented it now.
It's done.
It's happening.
It's out. That all said, how's it going, everybody? I know this is a later stream than usual. I also know that I normally don't stream on the weekends outside of like video game streams every now and again. There's a reason for that, though. So, as everybody knows, the Make America Straight Again convention, concert, hate group, rally, whatever you want to call it, piece of crap. There we go. Piece of garbage going forward is what we'll use. They're happening. They're in day 2. Their day 3 is tomorrow. And so we have some footage from that actual convention that I wanted to go over, and some stuff surrounding it from other people who are closely related to and or part of that group. So to keep your eyes open on the IFB as well. Seems some are now getting the urge to speak out. Yeah, I'd imagine that the new IFB being so vocal and not getting significant pushback is going to reinvigorate the old IFB, which is going to piss me off because they're responsible for the first freaking 7 years of my education. So, yeah. Me and Genetically Modified Skeptic are both from that little subset. So neither of us would be happy if the old IFB managed to gain a significant foothold again, yet here we are living in the reality where they're apparently able to. Yay, I love realities where people feel emboldened to be bigots.
Current political discourse is just I don't even it's just disappointing. It's ridiculously disappointing. I think a lot of it has to do with YouTube and internet radicalization.
Yes, actually, with the new IFB, they specifically have used YouTube as a platform to grow their church. Steven Anderson's channel has 120,000 subscribers, and throughout, a lot of his content has been cleaned. In that, some of his most bigoted, hate-filled rhetoric, he's taken those videos off of his channel so as to preserve his ability to work on YouTube, which extends his reach, which causes problems. Because what they seem to do is they have their YouTube channel, and then they finally send out emails and messages to people, hey, it's time for you to move to Tempe, Arizona. It's time for you to get closer to the cult. And yet here we are. That said, on to happy stuff, because we are talking about depressing stuff right now. If you are not subscribed to PigPuncher, who is my guest, you should definitely go do so. He does a lot of good content on some of the people who I've been dealing with recently. Your Crowders, your No BSs, your people like that. Tackles a lot of your really far right-leaning ideologies.
Yeah, I for those of you guys who are hesitant because my name is PigPuncher, it's not about punching actual pigs, nor is it about punching cops. It's a Minecraft reference. I started out as a Minecraft Let's Play channel. Now I do leftist politics.
Yep. So if you look at his oldest videos on his channel, there's a ton of just Minecraft content.
Oh man, yeah, that's Vosh told me there is no more humble of a start on YouTube than a Minecraft Let's Player.
Yes. Paranormal Encyclopedia. If you haven't seen it already, I highly recommend looking up the video of Anderson getting tased by cops. Yeah, that's because Steven Anderson is what we call a sovereign citizen. In giant air quotes. Yes, and he tried to do the whole Sovereign Citizen Act in front of a police officer near the border and got himself tased as hell.
I love it.
I am not that much of a sadist, so I'm not going to show that video on here, but that video is available for anyone. And
for
also,
putting out the powerful and poignant "We Deserve to Live" vid. Great job.
that is a $200 donation from the
That
NIFB Jesus.
That is a beefy ass donation. Holy shit.
Holy shit.
That is the sum of all of the donations I made over like a whole month.
Okay, I think I know how we have to start the stream now. Pig, have you seen the I Deserve to Live video?
I haven't, but I've been meaning to watch it.
You know what? Okay, guys, is everybody okay with this? Because NIFB Jesus has brought it up and did do the donation, I think we should watch it together. Is that okay with everybody?
I'm down. I'm ready. I've been meaning to watch it anyway.
Fair enough. Everybody here seems to think that that is a good thing, so let's go ahead and get that up on the stream. Internet is being very spotty right now, so give it just a moment, and we should be able to get that going.
I deserve.
No! Back to the
Autoplay.
beginning. Autoplay does the thing. Alrighty. So, everybody ready?
I'm ready.
Me and other content creators have been working tirelessly against an organization that seeks to have LGBTQ people executed, but this video isn't for them, because there are more organizations than just them that seek the exact same thing. This is a video for the people who these organizations think should be put to death for the mere crime of existing. Some of them are comfortable showing their faces, some are not. And it is for their safety that some people are using either avatars or screen names rather than faces or legal names. It is due to the existence of social norms brought about by organizations like the NIFB and others that think like them that this is necessary. If you are part of one of these organizations, then maybe it would behoove you to listen to the words and see the faces of people who you think don't deserve the right to exist.
My name is Raziel, and I am a gray-sexual, non-binary, gender-fluid person, and I deserve to live.
My name is Emmett Rose. I'm agender, panromantic, and asexual, and I deserve to live.
My name is Sean. I'm a GUNNA sexual trans man, and I deserve to live.
I am Aaron from Aaron's Chair, and I am a non-binary, pansexual, polyamorous person, and I deserve to live.
My name's Ben.
Valen.
Tristan.
Suzanne.
And I deserve to live.
I am bisexual.
Non-binary.
Bisexual.
Aromantic.
Pansexual.
And I deserve to live.
My name is Percy. I'm a bisexual. I deserve to live.
My name is Erilyn.
Gainer.
JP Northy.
Delana.
Jamie.
Debbie.
I'm asexual.
Biromantic.
Pansexual.
Transwoman.
Polyamorous, pansexual, agender.
Bisexual.
Lesbian. I'm a lesbian, and I deserve to live.
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 And I deserve to live.
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 My name is Dakota. I am a lesbian and I deserve to live.
My name is Kai Webster.
Bethany.
Hannah.
Lauren.
I am pansexual.
I am demisexual.
And I deserve to live.
I am bisexual,
trans man,
transgender, and panromantic non-binary,
gay transgender man,
a lesbian female,
lesbian,
transgender and pansexual,
bisexual,
trans,
lesbian,
trans female,
bisexual,
pansexual,
homosexual, trans male,
trans man,
bisexual,
lesbian, pansexual,
asexual,
biromantic, trans guy,
pansexual,
and I deserve to live.
And I deserve to live.
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 And I deserve to live.
My name is Joshua. I'm a transgender man, and I deserve to be alive.
That's a great video. That's a really great video.
Give it a moment.
God, I hate the NIFB so much.
There we are.
That's a really powerful video.
That is what happens when over 100 people, and there are a couple that I couldn't fit in there because they were silent ones, and I'm going to show those at some point tonight. That is what happens when over 100 people submit from their particular need, their inalienable human right to existence. That's something that they do not want violated by organizations like the NIFB. If the NIFB had enough power and political clout to get people in that could actually advocate for the things they advocate for through legislation, these people would be in trouble.
Yeah.
We saw that here in Tennessee when the pastor who was an NIFB pastor, for those who weren't aware, we had an NIFB pastor who was a deputy in Tennessee, literally 3 hours north of me. Just got his, after an investigation, just lost his job because he was trying to convince his congregation that it is the right and it should be the duty of police officers to execute people for being LGBTQ.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit before, so it's good to bring it up here. It's really scary because these people aren't just pieces of shit on the internet. They exist, they're real, they're out there, and they're trying to gain power because it's part of their like actual political power where they can influence legislation and whatnot, because it's ties directly into what they're trying to do. It's very similar to some of the like extremist religious cults that specifically try to get as many people as possible into government to affect legislation. That's what their goal is. They are going out of their way to try to make it so that we have a government that systematically murders LGBTQ people, as well as anyone who's an ally of them. So it's very scary.
So, also, I see that we have, and I'm not going to name your name because you know who you are in the chat. We have a public figure from the NIFB in our chat right now. You know who you are. The chat is already responding to you. You are one of the worst types of individuals on this planet. And I'm not going to offer you any more credence than that. The last time you got in here, you managed to rile me up. You managed to get me in a state where I was already angry. Now, not the case.
I'm angry. Who is he? I think we all know why my Discord got banned. I think we all know why my Discord got banned, chat.
So, if you look in the chat, there's a person that everybody is referring to. I'll go ahead and say it. Everybody knows it's Matt Powell. Everybody here knows it's Matt. And it's okay. It's okay, Matt. We don't hate you. At least I don't. I pity you. I pity that somebody who has the ability to be such a strong voice and advocate for so much good in the world is fighting on the side of genocidal monsters. I pity you. I really do. I pity the circumstances that you found yourself in that are probably almost identical to mine. I was in the old IFB. I pity someone who went down and stayed the course on that path. And you know what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry this happened to you. Because you could have been better. But you're not. Super chat wise, we have Fearless Astrid Hopperson, $2. I saw the News 13 talking about how hateful they are. Yes, that was the thing that happened there in Orlando. And then, of course, we had another super chat that came in from Excellence USAF. Looking forward to pumpkin spice cupcakes in the fall. 10 out of 10. And then we have a 20 SEK donation from Dreaming Clouds, which is a myriad of pumpkin emojis. Which is perfect. It is perfect.
And
Brian,
another one for $5.
Thank you, Brian Stevens. Brian, when are we going to play Smash again, by the way? That's a thing we need to do again. Especially now that Banjo-Kazooie was announced as a playable character. We need to play at some point soon.
Can I give my own little message to Matt Powell really quick? Okay, I'll let you read this one more super chat. God, you're getting a lot of.
This one is from Lucifer. By the way, quick shout out to Lucifer. She was one of the ones who sent, or they were one of the ones who sent my request to get the clips for the video out to multiple people and sent that to other servers and helped actually funnel some of those clips to me from people who couldn't get them to me individually. So thank you very much. And their super chat donation is pumpkin, white flag, rainbow flag, basically. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Okay, now if you want to give your message, that is fine.
All right, I will keep it very tame, but I'm going to say right now is I don't know if you're still watching this, Matt Powell. If you are, I will try my best to understand why you have so much hatred in your heart for a group of people that's really done nothing wrong. I assume you think that homosexuality is a choice. It's not. The scientific community disagrees with you if that's what you believe. It is not a choice. It is people who are in the LGBT community across, whether they're lesbian, gay, bisexual, or trans of any kind. They deserve to live because they didn't choose to be in this group. They don't hurt anybody. There's nothing wrong with being LGBT. I know that a lot of it, or all of it really, is based through your religious belief. And I know that you believe that one day God is going to come down and he's going to make it so the government starts systematically slaughtering all the LGBT people and anyone who's an ally of them. But that's not going to happen. It's not. And 100 years from now, we're going to look back on you, or people will look back on people like you, specifically you maybe, if you're still relevant and haven't faded into obscurity because of how insignificant you are, especially compared to me and all of my clout. They're going to look back on people like you as scum of the earth who did nothing but try to impede social progress in creating the world that will hopefully be way better than the one we live in now that will exist in a century. And I just want you to know that everything that you and the NIFB and the old IFB are doing, nothing's going to happen. You're going to fail. It's just not going to work out. And I don't care if you want to call me like a cuck, libtard, or whatever you want to call me, but I would say that the most cucked thing in the world is fighting so desperately to try to eliminate a group of people when you're going to so devastatingly lose in the long run. It's amazing to me. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Just you suck, Matt Powell. You're very irrelevant compared to me, and nobody likes you. LGBT people deserve to live. Stop, kind of remove the hate from your heart. All right, that's all.
Agreed. We also have a $10 super chat from KM Green on behalf of my gay son, bi daughter, and daughter-in-law, and me, a genderqueer who appreciates the work this entire awesome YouTube community has done on our behalf. Thank you. Also, I wanted to do a quick shout out while I'm thinking about it. Paranormal Encyclopedia also has a channel, and they are talking a lot in the chat. Paranormal Encyclopedia, while religious, is somebody who I agree with more often than not. And I appeared on their show, I want to say about Paranormal. Wasn't it about like 4 or 5 months ago? Something like that. Yeah, there's a show that happened over there on their channel that I was a part of, and they have a pretty good channel. It's a call-in show. So, just a quick shout-out I wanted to throw there while I'm thinking about it, since I see them in the chat a lot.
Nice. But, yeah, I guess
moving on at that point, we've got business to do.
Hell yeah. Wait, I have one question. What's the pumpkin thing about?
Okay, so, so I have a video on my channel about this. It's actually a video that my co-host for my podcast made, Ocean Keltoy. It's a mirror of his video. The long and short of it is that me and Mr. Atheist made videos about the Make America Straight Again conference when that happened. When their initial advertisements happened. My video, because I am the smaller channel of the two, raised some awareness, but not a whole lot. Mr. Atheist did his, I want to say like 6 hours after I did mine. So we were literally probably we hadn't communicated with one another, but we were in production at the same time. Because our production schedule is roughly the same. So Mr. Atheist's video got the original Make America Straight Again advertisement taken down, and Tommy McMurtry, who is one of the speakers at at the conference, had a sermon about Mr. Atheist specifically, and called him Mr. Pumpkin because in his eyes he's the biggest fruit on earth. First of all, from what I remember, Jimmy is actually pansexual, so he's only half as much of a fruit as you think he is. But regardless, Jimmy decided, screw you, Tommy McMurtry. You want to call me a pumpkin? That's fine. I am now Mr. Pumpkin. I'm going to own it. And because Tommy McMurtry decided to focus on it so much, we think there might be a little bit of sexual energy there. So the question was asked, Tommy McMurtry, are you sexually attracted to pumpkins? More specifically, as a statement, I'm not saying Pastor Tommy McMurtry is sexually attracted to pumpkins. I am saying, however, that we don't know. This has...
we have to have faith that he is attracted to pumpkins, because we can't know for sure.
Yes, I have been calling him the Gordophile on my channel.
That's really fucking good. Okay.
So,
I like that backstory. That's some good ass lore.
That's it is some wonderful lore. However, it does require going through about 2 hours worth of video sermons and back-to-backs. Luckily, Ocean made a 10-minute video that went through the long and short of it really quickly so that people could be updated on what is now going to be known throughout the annals of lefty YouTube atheist skeptic history as the Pumpkin Saga. And we are now currently still in the Pumpkin Saga.
I gotta do a video on the pumpkin memes. Damn. I've been left out of all this.
Not to mention, I can't show them on my channel because we've already had a channel that got a community strike because of some of the content that is shown on it. But on TommyMcMurtry.com, which has been search engine optimized now, when you look up Tommy McMurtry, you find people like me and Mr. Atheist before you ever find Tommy now. On TommyMcMurtry.com, which is in no way associated with Tommy McMurtry, the pastor, or Liberty Baptist Church, you will find hundreds of lovely pieces of artwork of incredibly sexually attractive pumpkins.
That's amazing.
If you would like to see one that my girlfriend actually made, Emmett, not Raz. Raz has actually been helping me on the video game side of things on my channel. But here is one that Emmett has created. Let me find it. It will take all of 2 seconds. I say that, and it's taken more than 2 seconds. There we are. Here we are. I will show it ever so briefly on screen. Here, I'll show it to... Yep, there we go.
Damn. That's a thick pumpkin.
Is a V-thick pumpkin. So... that is a sampling of what you will find on TommyMcMurtry.com that is in no way associated with Pastor Tommy McMurtry or Liberty Baptist Church. So,
well, we've search engine optimized it, so
yes.
We're good.
In fact, actually, I'm gonna do a... We're gonna be covering Ben today, guys. But I'm gonna do a quick thing where I'm going to go onto YouTube for fun. Let's go ahead and move you back there. Get off my Facebook, you freaking stalkers. We're going to go into YouTube for half a second, and we're going to type in Tommy McMurtry. And the first thing that comes up is Mr. Atheist's thing on Liberty Baptist Church. Hey, and I am, let's see, 1, 2, Mr. Atheist is twice, and then 3 videos down, you will find Vice Rhino's video on Pastor Tommy McMurtry. And then after that, you will find my quality Tommy McMurtry shitpost, which, you know what? It's 16 seconds. It's 16 seconds. Let's go ahead and cap off this annal of the Pumpkin Saga with my quality Tommy McMurtry shitpost.
How do you like your coffee?
Some people think I'm a little crazy because I love pumpkin pie spice so much. At least I know what I like. I like it international, and I expect to be delighted.
That's a good meme. Oh, hey, my video is recommended there.
I would hope so. I watch your content.
Yeah, did you see that? That was pretty epic. Also, Gaelic Knox, do some pumpkify me up.
Pumpkify PigPuncher.
Yeah,
have a pumpkin just fisting with a fistful of bacon.
That'd be interesting. My old PFP was me clutching like a fist clutching bacon, but I kind of like the me floating in a pool of soy with a pig a little better.
Yeah,
I don't know, there's something about it. I love that fan art. I saw it for the first time and I was like, God, this is so good.
That's one of the reasons that my fan art is my profile picture on Twitter. I got a fan art of the Rule 63 version of me.
Yeah.
And it's clutching the Cirrus body pillow. And I was like, yep, that's gonna have to do it. That's gonna have to do it.
It's a really good fan art. I'm looking at it now because I had Twitter open right here. Yeah, that's a really good fan art.
Burak C in the chat, NIFB. NIFB stands for the New Independent Fundamental Baptists. They are an offshoot from the old IFB. The old IFB are responsible for things like Pensacola Christian Academy. Their members helped fund stuff like that with the Seventh-day Adventists. The new IFB is an offshoot from them because the old IFB was mired in things like sexual scandal, and they broke off to try to get away from that. But of course, their scandals are all advocacies for genocide. So, the
apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. You're gonna have some when you have scum of the earth, homophobic assholes who molest kids and have sexual assault scandals. Probably gonna have some other issues when they branch off into another sect.
Yeah,
I actually want to tell you,
you find that stuff like that isn't the only thing that they're doing.
Okay, so I'll try not to rant too much, but I did date a girl when I was 16 years old who I would not be surprised if like her parents were involved with like the old INFB at least, or the NIB, I guess, or FIB.
NIFB.
Yeah,
this is why I'm going to start calling them NIFBYs.
That'd probably be better to remember them. It's a hard acronym.
It is.
It's easy to mix up. I've mixed it up a few times, and people are like, "I don't think the INFB is what you think it is." I was like, "Shit, yeah." I messed it up a few times originally, but we're getting there. We're getting there. But yeah, this girl was really homophobic, and I was 16 at the time, so I was kind of going through like the rabbit hole, so I didn't care too much. But God, looking back on it, yikes.
Yeah, you end up finding that some of that stuff is awkward. They also just recently, I need to ask Aaron exactly where and what the name of the church is, but they just planted a church in New Zealand, which makes them at 32 churches now, I believe, in 6 countries. And that ticks me off because my channel artist is in New Zealand. Yeah, no, that's bad.
Especially right after the crazy-ass mosque shooting. Christ.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they are happy that happened, by the way. Just like when it came to the...
Oh, of course they are. Of course they are.
Just like when it came to the Pole nightclub, when that happened, the NIFB immediately were just, especially Robert Jimenez, went live and just said, no, I wish more of them would have died. And I'm just like... What if somebody had done that to your church instead, and then somebody said, "No, I wish more of them would have died"? You'd be singing a different tune. Yet apparently these things are different if they happen to you, which makes it special pleading, which is a fallacy. Please don't do that. It's bad.
Yeah. So something that happened. This is a really quick story, but I think he ended up getting fired for it. When I was 16 years old, this was actually around the same time I was dating that girl. I worked as a lifeguard at a place called Wekiwachi Springs State Park. You can look it up. It's a famous park here in Florida. It's like got a spring. They do like the mermaid shows here. That's what they're famous for, because they do like a play. And it's and I was working there as a lifeguard, and my manager, I will not say his name, but when the Pulse nightclub shooting happened, the day after, I was at work. And he was like walking around the guard shack talking about how he's glad it happened and he wished that it would have been more people. And I didn't know that it was specifically like, I didn't know it was a gay nightclub. I didn't know that. I just thought it was like a random place. I was like, what the fuck? But I was like, oh, maybe he just likes edgy humor. And I was like, okay. But if I had known at the time that the Pulse nightclub was like a gay bar and that it was like a attack driven by homophobia.
Yeah, this stuff is bad, especially when you like look at the manifestos of some of these people. Not that I'm saying go look at these manifestos. There's some dark shit in there, but when you do that, you start to find some common threads with these people.
Yeah.
it's gross. But speaking of people we find common threads among, if you are not aware of who Ben the Baptist is, Benny Boy here is a, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Looking at the way his eyes are in this photo, looks a little bit like a psycho. This guy
this guy looks like he's filming his like Elliot Rodger-esque video, like here's why I'm about to shoot up this boardwalk or something.
Yeah, and so what we're gonna do here is this is him on his way to the Make America Straight Again convention, because I don't want to just cover the massa stuff. There was also a question in the chat: when am I going to cover the NIFB's video on gender dysphoria? Because they have one of those, of course. I am going to be covering that one, but I want to focus on their conference right now, and then I will be focusing on some of the more tangential stuff that they've done that is also harmful afterwards. So right now we're doing conference focus because that's happening right now. That's a thing that's currently going on. Afterwards, probably in this coming week, I will be able to tackle that video, but it's one that I really want to, because just the first 4 minutes of that, and it's like an hour long. I haven't seen the whole thing, but the first 4 minutes of that made me incredibly angry.
Oh boy.
So,
God.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and see what old Ben has to say.
I'm preparing
One
myself.
Brother Ben here with one last video prior to the Massa conference, and I just want to encourage everyone who is attending this conference, if you're flying in, especially from far away, and you have decided to make the trip, and obviously all the preachers as well. This is an amazing opportunity for us to stand for what's right. And the Bible says, yea, and all that will live godly in Christ Jesus shall suffer persecution. There's no doubt the God haters of this world are pushing back. Pastor Tommy McMurtry.
Okay, can you pause? I need to get something to drink. I need to get some alcohol for this. Oh God. I need some alcohol for this one. I'm sorry. Oh, brother.
I can understand that.
Is underage drinking illegal to have on YouTube?
I think it is, actually.
Oh, fuck. Damn it.
You have to.
I'm 19, so it's illegal. This is happening, by the way. The Make America Straight Again thing is happening like only a few hours away from where I live. I live on the west coast of Florida. Orlando's on the east coast, just a little bit.
So this is just in your backyard.
I could drive there. Like, if someone started driving whenever this stream started, they would probably be there by the time we finish the stream. Yeah.
And then it was within like 2 minutes of that PigPuncher said, "Hold on a second, I need to put Zoom on my phone." No.
Yeah.
So.
God, did I say that I needed it on my phone?
No. It was a joke about like, hey, somebody could get there by the end of the stream. PigPuncher starts driving.
Yeah, I probably could. I mean, yeah, I could probably just put Zoom on my phone, start driving there, and by the time we're done, I'd be there. It's not far. Aaron's chair says I used to live in Pensacola. Yeah, I've been around there quite a bit. I live a bit closer to Tampa.
Yeah, Pensacola is actually where I grew up, so I'm familiar with it. When we went to go grab Aaron, because the situation with Aaron, for those who don't know, is she was in a relationship with an abusive husband, and we actually like drove from North Georgia down to grab her to get her out of there. Said husband is now in prison, so yeah, that's the thing that happened. Anywho,
Jesus.
You know, when I found that like she was just in really familiar territory, I was like, this is good. This is good. Everything sucks, but this is good.
God, yeah. Florida is God, I hate Florida so much. I hate it. I can't stand it.
Really right wing.
It is. All right, we can continue. I'll try to get by without anything without any alcohol. Oh God.
You can manage it. Hold on. I did Tampa Bay Comic-Con. One of my best friends is in the Tampa area. This is good, sir. Okay, continuing.
As of late, some hate from some disgusting, reprobate, effeminate little sissy who's offended at the preaching of the Bible, and I'm sure he's gotten tons of vile, hateful emails threatening him and all the rest of it.
So I'm going to go ahead and pause here right now. Okay, so for anybody who wants to believe the little persecution complex of, oh no, I'm a pastor just trying to preach the gospel and I'm getting hate emails, I understand that you're getting hate emails, and I know that that's a problem, and I know that that sucks for you. Trust me, I understand. I've gotten death threats for what I do on my channel, so I can empathize. However, you are advocating for genocide. One of these things is not like the others.
Yeah, you're doing all right. Oh, God. I'm sorry. I'm about to get another Discord account banned.
Jesus, don't.
I gave ownership of my Discord server over to Cine, so even if I get my account banned, I can just make a new one.
Yeah, but let's try not to do that.
Yeah.
We are more effective when we have control.
Yeah.
How these people operate, they don't have a conscience, and so they will violate.
Unironically tells people they don't have a conscience whilst advocating for the murder of over 6 million people in the United States. Yes, that was a subtle appeal to Godwin's law.
Yeah, well, they don't see LGBT people as people, so it's like, in their twisted worldview, what they're saying makes sense to them. Jesus Christ. Okay. Oh,
Violate their own virtue signaling by sending us
virtue signals whilst in the car, virtue signaling.
Horrible messages, attacking, threatening our lives. And it's not hate speech if they're doing that.
It's not hate speech because it's legally not hate speech. What?
First of all, whether or not it is hate speech doesn't matter if you're in America, because hate speech is protected in America. It's not protected in several other countries, some of which the NIFB are in. It's not protected in those countries. But here, whether it is or is not hate speech does not matter, because it is all protected the same. What is not protected is incitements. Incitements are not protected.
Aren't these the free speech warriors that are always like the left is trying to silence people's free speech?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
They're also the people that unironically bitched about censorship on a video with comments being disabled.
I love it. And then they also are like, why do the left always block people who disagree with them, and then block entire follower lists of people who they disagree with on Twitter?
Yeah, no, it's weird because like I'm an advocate for free speech. I do not like censor culture. I think that it's antithetical to having a functional society. However, I also find it very strange that the people who fight for free speech the most seem to also be the ones that are trying to be like really, really offensive. And constantly trying to advocate for like these people shouldn't exist, or these people shouldn't walk into bathrooms or anything like that. And they're the people that scream free speech first. And I'm just sitting there like, I agree with that part of your sentence, but like I don't see how I don't understand why the correlates are always bigot needs free speech so badly. It's weird.
It is oddly it's weird how that lines up, huh? You know, like a platform like Gab is infested with Nazis, but all they say is they just say free speech. That's their thing. There's the free speech platform, but it's infested by Nazis. It seems like I don't know. It always seems like these places that are all about like unadulterated free speech are also filled with Nazis.
One, look at BitChute. Oh, it's filled to the brim with stupid. Okay, so like for those who are familiar with Logic in the chat, Logic at first was excited for BitChute because it meant that, hey, some people are going to be spouting some crazy stuff on here, which is good for my channel. I can grab that stuff and deal with it on my videos. We had a conversation happened on his Discord a while back, and he was just like, BitChute's too crazy. It's like it's too crazy for the person who's willing to debunk the moon is a reflection on a saucer pan. It's going down the list, like way worse than Flat Earth. When BitChute has shit that's too crazy compared to that, the platform may be a little farked. Just a little bit.
Yeah, I'd say like somewhere between YouTube and Twitch is like the ideal amount of censorship and like protection I would like to see. Twitch is like is way more like hard on hate speech, but Twitch also allows you to like play copyrighted stuff on streams. So something between that would be ideal. Not YouTube that literally allows like targeted hate brigades on LGBT people and then just says, well, you know, it's okay. There's nothing breaking the rules there.
There's nothing breaking the rules in Steven Crowder's targeted harassment of Maza. That's not a thing.
God,
then...
okay. I'm gonna rant for a second.
Yeah, go ahead, rant.
Ever since I got into politics, I feel like I watch a lot of content outside of politics as well. But once I got into politics, I always feel like I gotta be ready. I gotta be ready for when one of these new channels that I come across that I really enjoy is going to come out as having their private political opinions being some like really fucked up shit, right? So like the JonTron situation's like a good example. You know, completely apolitical content comes out as a Nazi or white nationalist, I should say. I always get worried about that, and so when it comes to I don't know, like I always feel like shit, I have ADHD, so sometimes I like ramble for a second and I forget what I was going around to. But yeah, so it's like, all right, we can just continue. I forgot what I was saying. I'm a dumbass.
That's okay.
I have ADHD.
I'm throwing this over here. You can see it, but they can't because I've got to throw a new fan art that just came in. Fan art was just submitted by Jack and Quill. Jack and Quill is also the one who is responsible for our This Is Very H meme that is on screen now. So, as opposed to This Is Very H, in light of the Pumpkin Saga, things seem to be very 240p. This is very 240p.
Oh no, are we already getting it?
We're already getting it. This is very 240p. So we're going to go ahead and throw that there.
Wait, how do you do that? Is that like just a special like pen tool?
Oh, making that type of artwork?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, it's here, I'll open it up over here because you can see it on
I don't know shit about art, okay, chat? I'm really sorry. I just don't know shit. Whenever somebody sends me some fan art, I'm just like, how? You know? Like
just like, that is amazing. Also, we have a $5 super chat that came in. I need to do there. As a strawberry, I've heard rumors from my cousins about Tommy McMurtry and the pumpkin patch. Not good. Not good. Yes, I heard that he was actually passed out on the front of his church with a gently used jack-o'-lantern.
All right, well, I guess we'll continue this video. This video that is going to make me probably bust a blood vessel in my eye.
You're a minute in out of 4 minutes. Oh boy.
I have anger issues, okay? And I also am very much anti-fascist, so seeing this kind of stuff makes me even angrier.
Yeah, especially like I would hate to see you in my editing room because I when I make my videos, I make them I basically make them live and then edit them down to where they look scripted. Which means that like if I get really angry at a video, I have to go compose myself.
Okay.
All right.
They're attacking Christians or Baptist preachers because they've basically depersoned us. They hate us, which is why these are the biggest hypocrites in the world, because when we say we hate reprobates, that triggers them.
I don't like them saying we hate us, but when we say we hate them, that triggers them. And like, do you have no self-awareness? First of all, we can just go ahead and get it out of the way that a laissez-faire use of triggering is like a little bit ableist, just a tiny bit, because that's actually a thing, especially for people with like bad PTSD. Triggering is actually a medical term. So your usage of it there, it's the same reason that I don't use the R slur when I can help it, because again, as a medical term, diluting the actual use of that term is silly. Secondly, Benny Boy, do you have no self-awareness? Do you have none?
They just don't. They don't realize what he's doing right now. We can hear how quote triggered he is in his voice. He's very offended. He's very upset. He's fuming right now.
He's just like, they're so... That would be like Alex Jones sitting there, I'm not mad at all! I just don't like when they turn the frickin' frogs gay! And it's like, dude, you are
That's a really good impression.
I'm just like, dude, you are the poster child for Angry Soy Boy right now, whilst getting angry at Angry Soy Boys. What is wrong with you, my friend? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you alright?
He is genuinely kind of... He's a sad person. I would not like to be him, mostly because I have so many more subscribers than him. But on I feel I got to put him down in every possible way. and my videos also get more views than his. But also, he's so filled with hate, and he's so mad. Like, God, I love how all these like bigoted people, they're so angry that they live in a world where gay people exist and black people exist and just groups of people they hate exist. Just these groups' existence pisses them off so much that it burns to the core for them.
It's like gay people exist. NIFB, lock and load.
Yeah.
That's basically what happens.
It actually warms my heart a little bit, as much as it pisses me off because how stupid this guy is and everything he's saying, it's so stupid. It does warm my heart that he is infinitely angry. I'll finish this stream and I'll be able to relax in relative ease, but he's going to be at this rally, and then the rest of his life he's going to spend constantly searing with rage as deep inside of his soul, because gay people will never stop existing, and that warms my heart.
This man, by the time that this man expires, gay people will still exist. And that will make him incredibly angry.
He knows it, and that's why he's so mad. You can see it in his eyes.
If there's an afterlife, this man is going to look down on the world in his afterlife and go, they're still there. It's going to make him mad as a ghost.
He's gonna wait there in the afterlife for like millions of years, or what, I don't know, thousands of years, and he's gonna be like, why hasn't God done anything about the gays yet?
And God's just sitting there like, did I create them? Well, yeah. Okay, cool. Then shut your mouth.
Yeah, they cherry pick. Basically, every religious person cherry picks. So they'll be like, oh well, everyone was made in God's image, but also gay people bad.
Sidge McDonald in the chat, I hope it spoils heaven for him. Knowing that he would have to share the pearly gates with people who are LGBTQ, I hope it spoils heaven for him.
If it exists, he's not going to heaven.
Well, if it exists and he is, like, let's say that the once saved, always saved is just a thing, right? Let's say that that's the case. He's going to go there, and God's going to be like, I'm going to let you in the house, but just know that I'm going to be disappointedly staring at you for eternity.
Oh, God, that would be the worst. I like to imagine, like, if there is an afterlife and you die and you go to heaven, all of a sudden you become completely enlightened. Like, as soon as you everything, as soon as you become, like, I guess a ghost or, like, an angel or whatever happens.
They gain infinite knowledge, and he gets up and goes, wait a minute.
Oh!
No, the worst way. He gains infinite knowledge, right? So now he's infinitely introspective as well. Gains infinite knowledge and then goes, I'm gay.
Oh yeah, most of the time I feel like the most homophobic people.
You end up getting some. You end up getting some ideas on, like, are you're projecting really hard? Are you sure? Are you sure? If I point my camera over here, are you sure you're not in there, my dude?
They're so far in the closet they found their Christmas presents.
Oh dear.
There's actually a song we should play a little later in the stream just to trigger the homophobes, But yeah, I mean, generally, wasn't there this one story? There's this like extremely anti-gay pastor, yeah, and it ended up coming out a video of him getting a blowjob from another guy.
Yeah, it's see. So the thing is that if this, I know that there's a proclivity for it, but I also recognize that even with that proclivity, there are several people in the LGBTQ/GSRM community who would not want these people associated with them because they are the true scum of the gay community.
Oh yeah, obviously, yeah, well, because they are technically part of that demographic, but it's complicated,
Brian Stevens says Ted Haggard. Ooh. Yeah, I think wasn't it Ted Haggard where that happened? Yep, Ted Haggard. The chat is reinforcing it was Ted Haggard.
Okay, yeah. No, from what I remember hold on. Let me make sure, because that might... No, a completely different person I'm talking about. The pastor I'm talking about was a black guy.
Almost like it happens more than once.
Yeah, oh yeah, it happens a lot, like I said. But the one I'm talking about, it was a black guy, and the reason why the video went so viral is because as he's getting his dick sucked by the other dude, this extremely homophobic pastor, He says,
Is it? I have to interrupt for just 1 second. Is it because you are floating in soy milk in your fan art that whenever you think of a pastor, you think of pasteurization?
Maybe. I don't know. I've never had soy before.
Fair enough. Soy nuts are
it.
actually really good.
Well, I'm going to try it when I hit 10,000 subscribers, which we're at, what are we at right now? We're at 8,625. There are 256 of you watching right now, and I've only gained like 12 subscribers since this started. You guys better go sub to me right now.
Go over to his channel, guys.
Because when I'm going to try soy milk on my 10,000 subscriber special, okay? You have my word.
So what I'm hearing is on your 10,000 subscriber special, you are going to end up having to get a new computer and monitor because they will be fried when you spit it out.
Is it really that bad?
I have not enjoyed the taste nor texture of many milk replacement products. I will say this, when it comes to soy, though, I'm a big fan of dark chocolate covered soy nuts. They're delicious.
Okay. Yeah, I might try like chocolate flavored soy milk or something.
Orochi in the chat, Sarah, where can I send you fan art? If you go to my Discord server, which is in the description, there's a fan art section in the server that you can submit fan art to. Okay, continue. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, that's all basically. When I hit 10,000 subscribers, I was thinking of either like downing an entire carton of soy milk, even if I get sick, or like getting several cartons of it and like making a bath of it and getting into the bathtub of soy milk to recreate my profile picture.
That would be excellent.
I've been considering that. I don't know. That could be. You
need to get like a little pig plushie that can be next to you and like just glue the carton to its head.
Like a rubber pig, like an inflatable rubber pig, like a rubber duck to float around.
So you can actually like have the pig that's next to you floating in the soy milk.
It would take several thousands of dollars worth of soy milk to fill up a bathtub, though. That's the big problem.
It would. You're not wrong. However, I would like to say that if it is for keeping your costs down, you can cut the soy milk with water.
Yeah. Like fill the bathtub up like a third of the way with water and put the rest in soy milk?
Yes, and you could actually just call it a tax on the rich. Sorry, I had to.
Oh, amazing! Dumping soy in the bathtub to own the rich.
I mean,
Eddie Long. Oh, I think you might be right. Sorry, someone in the chat said Eddie Long. I think that might have been the pasture. Yeah, it was him. I think because in the video he's getting his dick sucked by this other guy, and he's like, "Yeah, suck that dick, my N-word." And he's so homophobic. He's like, he hates gay people, and he comes out as gay. Like, well, he doesn't come out, but he got caught. He was the one recording it too. That's the weird thing. Maybe that's how he wanted to come out. Just, you know.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. Hold on, I need to streamer mode enabled. Yep. Okay, so I would send you my Discord tag, Orochi. But I can't because streamer mode is on my Discord right now, and I don't feel like going through the effort to disable. But you can actually send it to me via email if you want. My email address is also in my description. All right, continuing on with Benny Boo Butt Cheeks.
Benny Boo Butt Cheeks.
Because it's not okay in their world to hate the God haters of this world, but it is okay to hate Bible-believing Christians. Total nonsense. Their worldview is an utter contradiction.
It's not a contradiction for his statement to work. There has to be a functional difference between the right to live or the right to humanity for a Bible-believing Christian and what he wants to label as a God hater. There has to be a functional difference between these two people outside of their myopic beliefs, because there's not a difference between my right to live and, say, a random person down the street's right to live, even though we probably have completely different views. I see. Is that Kitty?
That's a little Yorkie, and she's having a nightmare right now. I should probably wake her up because she's like barking in her sleep.
Yeah, that would probably be good.
Emmy, hey. She's having a bit of like a barking fit in her sleep. I think she's having a nightmare.
Yeah, our cats do that sometimes, and we have to get them up when that happens because it's not good to make them suffer.
Yeah, I woke her up. She's good. Sorry about that. I have the dogs stay in my room now, so I gotta like take care of them. And, But yeah. All right.
Fair enough. Looks
Sorry
like
about
we
that.
have. Oh, no problem. Looks like we have another fan art. This one is on a little doodle. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's go ahead and pull this in here. We have this one is from Rose, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say that Rose is cheeky. Is very cheeky. What did it get named to? JPEG. Okay, I need to. This folder's getting too complicated. Or JPEG. There it is. So you've seen 240p, Cirrus. What about 1p, Cirrus?
It's just
a square. One square.
Minecraft Cirrus. Oh wait, Cirrus PigPuncher Minecraft Let's Play confirmed.
I'll have to grab the skin from Kadama. There's actually a Cirrus skin for Minecraft.
Really? Damn,
Yes.
there's not a PigPuncher skin yet. There needs to be one. I need to have like an actual avatar. I imagine like me with that blue shirt would probably be it, but I kind of like wearing flannel. Like I kind of like jeans and flannel is like my things. I don't know.
JR and the hey, Kadama's actually in the chat. Thank you very much for the skin, by the way. We also have in the chat somebody saying that we need more tentacle Cirrus, and I am conflicted on that. Oh, Ben, let's distract us from that one.
And complete nonsense. But anyway, for those of you attending the MASA conference, don't let any fear stop you.
Because you are the one that has to have fear when you're advocating for genocide, right? Okay.
The victim complex is real.
It really is.
Don't let the prospect of persecution stop you. Go and have fun.
Persecution.
Go and have fun. Let me go ahead and say,
fun.
don't let the prospect of persecution stop you. Do you know what the prospect of persecution does to people in the NIFB? Do you know what it does? It is the thing that they are sexually attracted to. They get they get literal persecution boner.
Yeah, honestly, they do use it as ammo.
They're just like, oh, I'm being persecuted. How does that make you feel? That's what happens. So
horde.
And stand for what's right. It's about time Bible-believing Christians stand together against the wickedness of the Sodomites. And it's about time that Bible-believing Christians stand together in opposition of the degradation of our culture and society today.
Okay, this guy's a Nazi. This guy's 100% a Nazi.
That's nationalism rhetoric right there.
That's it right there. He's a Nazi. I've heard enough to know that he is 100% a fucking neo-Nazi. Also, fuck this guy. He's recording himself while driving on the highway in the rain. I assume he's like, I know which highway he's on. It's a miracle, unfortunately, I guess, that he did not get into a car wreck. But I would not be okay. I'm not going to say anymore.
I would say that my biggest problem with him getting in a car wreck would be that
other people getting hurt.
That he would possibly hurt other people through his negligence, and that concept, or that other people would have to take time out of their day to help him because he hurt himself. In all scenarios, if I can make it to where Ben affects the least amount of people possible, which I recognize sounds kind of antithetical whilst I show one of his videos on my stream, I understand. I would prefer that. This person's existence bothers me because their existence is a tool for them to do things that is harmful. Not that I think their existence should stop. I just think that that maybe if they fought for a different side and maybe with a little bit less vigor, I guess we'll use that. Those eyes scare me.
Oh yeah, those are the eyes of a man who is literally in his future is going to be committing some sort of like terrorist attack.
He's just sitting there. I'm going to go to the Make America Straight Again concert, and I'm going to make sure that I have a fun time. The pastors are going to reinforce everything that I already believe, and when they tell me that I'm being persecuted, my dick is going to get very hard.
Very, very hard. A small little, 2-inch Punisher. Also, I want to point out, Make America Straight Again, but Trump supporters, a lot of them claim actually, Donald Trump is very pro-LGBT. Meanwhile, all of
these people actually hate Trump.
Yeah, they usually hate him because of how he likes Jews too much. That's usually
that's half of it. The other half for people like Anderson. Anderson has gone on record to say that Trump isn't extreme enough for him. This is the same like the Westboro Baptist Church and Anderson's church have a disagreement, and it's that the Westboro Baptist Church is not extreme enough for Anderson.
Oh yeah.
Like,
oh, there's actually a video we should watch at the end of the stream for some feel good after all this garbage that we're about to inhale.
Is it the one from the Try Guys?
No. It's a video about right across the street from like the official like Westboro Baptist Church. There is a museum of LGBT history, and it's this guy bought the house, or it might have been a woman, I can't remember, but it's, the person bought the house, painted it all rainbow on the outside, and it's just a museum of LGBT history. A bunch of like people throughout history who have done amazing things that are LGBT, right across the street from the Westboro Baptist Church. It's amazing. It's a really feel-good video, and we can watch that at the end to cleanse ourselves.
Speaking of things that either cleanse you or you might have to be cleansed from, we just got another Rule 63 service. What is this about large fruits?
Oh my!
And
I can already see.
Yep, we're gonna go ahead and get that in there. That was from the wonderful, if not sometimes problematic, Wombologist. Problematic in that I've had to deal with more tentacle porn from them than anyone else.
I'm jealous. I haven't gotten any tentacle porn yet. The most I've gotten is like a little bit of like an agayo, or no, actually no. There is one porn image of me, but it's censored. And it's like it's me naked, but like my dick is censored, and it says, "Come to the left. We have hung twinks."
You do kind of fit the phenotype, though. Like, let's be honest, you do.
Yeah, I mean it works. It works. I'm not like too big and burly. I used to be when I was like 17 and I was on the swim team. I used to be like way bigger, but then I started doing YouTube all day and all the time, and I don't really work out as much anymore.
Jack and Quill in the chat, Cirrus and Wombologist, challenge accepted. Oh dear. So for context, Jack also has done a decent amount of Rule 63 fan art of me, and they're actually one of the fans that I've had the privilege of seeing in person. So that was neat. What was strange was seeing them in person whilst they were making Rule 63 fan art of me.
Oh,
that was maybe a little awkward, but it's fine because we had all you can eat Chinese food, so it's okay.
I wonder what'll happen when I meet my first fan or someone recognizes me in public. Like,
yeah, I can't say the thing that happened because it could infringe on other things. But there actually was somebody who recognized who was a fan of my channel that one of the people in this house saw recently, and that was interesting. Interesting to say the least. The more it happens, the more it's going to be. It never stops being strange, especially because there's a lot of people who have a hero complex when it comes to that. And you're just like, you realize I'm a normal person, right? And I have skeletons in my closet, and they're like really dusty.
Yeah, parasocial relationships are like really weird. I remember my channel was at like 1,000 subscribers, so I was like really small when I talked to Destiny on his stream. And at first, like, you can tell when I'm watching it, I'm nervous as shit. I was so nervous. It was, I know that feeling. So God, if I meet like really big fans in person, like, I'm excited. I'd love for that to happen. It would be crazy. But even the fact that I have fans, like, what? Like, there's people who call themselves fans of me? Really? Like, I don't know.
It's a weird feeling, and believe me, that weird feeling never goes away. It doesn't.
I hope it doesn't, because it actually feels kind of nice. Especially because I was not very popular in school and stuff, so, yeah.
Same. I was vice president of Computer Club. You can imagine how that went.
I was like... I had no special, like, stance. I was just kind of there, you know?
I was the nerd who worked actively to make the school more nerdy. So
that's probably a good thing, though.
It was fun. All right, Ben, we're halfway through your video. What else do you have for us besides your strangely psychopathic eyeballs?
So I am very, very excited for this conference. I think there's going to be some red-hot preaching. from Pastor Roger Jimenez.
That means he really wants the homophobia.
That's kind of sexual, you know what I mean? Some red hot preaching.
I want some red hot preaching from Pastor Anderson. I want. So can I go ahead and be that guy that just says that, you know, by you saying red hot preaching, were Joseph McCarthy still alive, you would be on a list now.
Wait, I don't know who Joseph McCarthy is. Is that a bit before my time?
Joseph McCarthy, are you familiar with the Red Scare in United States history?
Yes, I am.
He was one of the spearheaders for it. What he would do is, instead of just being anti-communist, which the United States was in a huge slew of that at the time, what he would do specifically is he would find people who he couldn't stand and he politically disagreed with, and he would label them communist, and he had enough clout that when he labeled somebody as the other, society agreed with him and would completely denigrate the individual. Like, the person could agree with Joseph on 99.9% of things, but he would then say, no, they're a commie, and immediately they would get ostracized. Obviously, I'm being a bit hyperbolic, but Joe McCarthy did have a lot of political power at the time as a spearheader for the Red Scare. It's an interesting part of American history to do some research on.
Yeah, so way before my time as a 19-year-old.
Yes. But luckily for me, when I had to do a report on him in school, and when I did my report on him, my grandfather actually had dealt, not personally, but peripherally with him. And as soon as I said, hey, Grandpa, do you know who Joe McCarthy is? He's just like, oh, that freaking bigot?
Oh.
And it was the first time I heard the word bigot in my life, and I haven't stopped hearing it since, but I blame YouTube for that. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy about that. I'm glad that we're having this cultural movement. God,
Pastor Stephen Anderson, Brother Bruce Mejia, Pastor Aaron Thompson, Pastor Tommy McMurtry. I can't.
Pastor Gordophile.
Wait
these guys'
for
names,
the fellowship, and I can't wait to sit back and listen to some fire-breathing preaching. Thank you to Pastor Patrick Boyle for putting this on, sticking his neck out there. He did some interviews with some local media outlets, and he's not backing down. I have a ton of respect for Pastor Boyle and for Revival Baptist Church. And overall, all I can say is this: if you've been receiving persecution from friends or family members because of the stance you've taken on the Word of God, and if you feel...
So I do have to interrupt for just a second here. He does realize that there are Christians who look at the Levitical law in the Bible, say that that is Old Covenant and it does not apply anymore, and the people who follow Levitical law are the heretics. He does realize that, right?
Oh, I mean, he's very stupid. He's very, very stupid, so there's a possibility he doesn't, but I don't know. He might, Christians especially cherry pick so hard what they follow. It's amazing.
And see, like, I'm actually okay with the cherry picking. Strangely enough, it may sound weird, but here's the thing: if I lived in a world where every Christian cherry picked the nice parts out of the Bible as the parts they follow and ignored all the bigoted parts, I think we would live in a better society than if all Christians were consistent with every letter of the law laid out, especially in the Old Testament.
Well, yeah, but the cherry picking always happens in a way that's like as a detriment, They're always
like right here.
Add stuff out.
Yeah, right here we have a clear example of the negative of that, and I would say on the whole there is more of a negative. I can agree with that. I would just rather, if you're gonna cherry pick, you might as well do it in a way that makes you not a fucking asshole. That would be nice, because the cherry picking is gonna happen one way or another. It's not gonna be avoidable. So I would like if it would maybe lead to a world that isn't horrid, but
yeah.
Then Pastor or Mr. Ben the Baptist-y here does the thing. Paranormal Encyclopedia, here's the thing about cherry picking the Bible. We don't know exactly what the original intent was. We've got translations of translations of translations, which is true. This is the reason why, like, if you look at Levitical law, the calls against homosexuality in Leviticus can be translated about 6 or 7 different ways. In some of those translations, it's actually a condemnation for pedophilia, and in one of those translations, it's a condemnation of cheating on your wife in her bed, which is a huge dishonor to her. So, like, when you look at Levitical law like that, it's really weird that these guys decide to take the most horrible approach to that Levitical law, even though through exegeting the original Aramaic and Hebrew, you can find other translations that don't pan out the way that this person thinks they pan out. But, you know, who needs to
actually follow the, actually be consistent with their beliefs,
Oh, yeah. No, these guys don't believe in exegesis. They are literalists. They take the King James Version as a literal document, even though the King James Version was written was coined fully in 1611, I believe, off of documents that were only 100 years older than it, which means that they were 1,500 years removed from the events of Jesus Christ alone, not counting older events like what happened in Job. So that's weird. It's so weird. Holy shit, NIFB Jesus.
Aaron's chair to help her out in her current situation, between jobs, etc. Love you all.
Holy crap.
Super chat from NIFB Jesus for Aaron's chair to help out with her current situation between jobs. Love you all. Thank you very much, NIFB Jesus, again. Holy shit.
NIFB Jesus, right now, subscribe to my channel, start watching my streams, and you better be donating like this during my streams. I swear to God. I need that shit. I make my living off of YouTube, okay? I can't be getting by on these scraps anymore. I'm living off of TV dinners, okay?
Jesus. All right.
Oh, shit.
Robert Kinney in the chat, Digital Hammurabi has an interesting video about how the Levitical law and homosexuality is a later insertion and not originally part of the text. Actually, yeah, if you guys are not subscribed to Digital Hammurabi, Dr. Josh and Megan, who are the owners of that channel, I believe Josh actually has a PhD in Aramaic language and culture studies. So, like, this is, by every definition, his wheelhouse.
Damn.
Every single bit.
Way smarter than me.
Josh is really smart. He's also a really good guy. I've had him on my channel for dealing with the Biblical Gender Roles website before. Him and his wife both. They're both really good people.
Nice. I always get kind of like intimidated when I run into people on BreadTube or just anywhere around this kind of section that are more knowledgeable than me. Like on non-compete, I was worried he's about to start talking about like some serious like leftist like theory and whatnot, and I'm just like, oh no, I have not read up enough on that. I don't want to like embarrass myself, but it was mostly like pretty simple. But yeah, I don't know, sometimes I feel like, man, I need to look into stuff more.
Yeah. One of the best things you can do whenever you're dealing with that is just ask. Like when you're talking with somebody who you think might know more about something on a topic than you do, instead of nodding head and trying to like play the part, basically, just ask questions. You'll learn a whole lot by asking questions. There's a lot of content creators on here that I'm friends with that throughout their streams, if I'm on them, I will ask and we'll have back and forths, and it's the reason that I started actually like studying philosophy instead of just thinking that I knew jack shit about it.
Yeah.
Because when I started YouTube, I had no idea. I thought that, yeah, philosophy is just you're thinking about how to think. It's fine. Whatever. That's not terribly hard. And then I started looking through the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy and realized exactly how much of a dumbass I am.
Yeah, I really need to like read. I should read The Conquest of Bread, honestly, for starters.
Yeah, if you're gonna be a breadtuber, might as well.
Yeah, I need to. That's homework. Yeah, so I've been asking people, hey, leftists, give me some homework. What should I be reading?
That is homework. That right there is homework.
Let's continue with this verbal filth.
Feel like perhaps it might not be worth going to this conference. If you're thinking of backing out because you're afraid of what the ramifications might be for showing up, don't do it. We need to go.
No, do it.
We need to stand for what's right, and we need.
You're not standing for what's right. Abandon ship. It's sinking.
You know what? Make some noise here, because
leave.
It's a whole month that these people have, and we get a couple of days to.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and take his logic. I'm gonna take his logic. It's a whole month these people have this Black History Month. Oh, it's really awkward when you take things to their reductio conclusions.
Well, this guy's a Nazi, so I'm not like he's gonna be like, yeah, of course, yeah, the black people have a whole month. Well, that's of course that's terrible. Oh God, I want to set this guy on fire in Minecraft. In Minecraft, in a video game.
Minecraft, in a video game.
In Minecraft, yes.
You make you put a Ben the Baptist skin pack on a on a Steve model.
No, we would just do some PvP in Minecraft, and I would set him on fire. That's all.
Take out some aggression. I will find you in League of Legends, and I will turn you into a squirrel.
I will polymorph you into a sheep.
Yup.
All right.
To say we're not taking this crap anymore. So show up, be there. If you see me,
I'm gonna go ahead and be that guy that turns everything he says sexual when I can. He doesn't want to take crap. You're not taking crap. Crap is currently being packed in your backside. Hello. I see that Raz has granted me tea.
Spill the tea, sis.
Thank you, honey. You escape. Boy. I love you too. Okay. Ben, our time together was short, but we have 40 more seconds of your video.
I don't know if I can make it.
We can do it. There's more after this, so I'm sorry.
Oh, God.
Please don't hesitate to come say hello. I would love to meet you and get to
you
know
don't want to
and
meet
everything
me.
like that. But until next time, folks, I will see you at the Massa Conference. I'm actually on my way right now to church to listen to Pastor Jonathan Shelley rip some face. And then this weekend, it's the Massa Conference. Go. Don't be afraid. Everything's going to be all right.
Everything's going to be all right. All right, I mean. That's what I heard. When your conference name is Massa, the white nationalism was strong in the freaking marketing department.
Rip some face.
When your pastor rips some face, I can only assume that your pastor is a serial killer, which is consistent with the message.
Yeah, like in Game of Thrones, the fucking faceless people that like wear people's faces.
Just ugh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Ben. In 14 more seconds, are you gonna give me a reason to crack a joke, or are you going to make me really depressed that I share a gene pool with you?
Who's on the Lord's side? We need to stand against the filth.
Not you, because Jesus Christ himself. This is the atheist speaking. This is the person that doesn't care about whether your book is true or not. When Jesus Christ himself was asked, what is the most important law? Because they asked, are you here to usurp the law? And he said, no, I'm here to fulfill the law. And then later the conversation led to, well, what is the most important law? If I am to follow one law above any others, what is the one that I am to follow? And it was love thy neighbor.
Yep. That's the one that they always cherry pick out. They hate the people that they hate, and they don't see them as other people. So I guess that they just don't apply as under that kind of rule, the love thy neighbor thing.
Ghost Chan in the chat, but their Jesus is giving us money. I don't see the point. Yes, the NIFB Jesus is giving us money instead of Ben the Baptist. They're right.
You know, we are making a lot of money off of these people. There's that.
And the degeneracy. Now's our shot. Let's do it. Let's stand together. I'm pumped up. I'm excited.
He's pumped up, guys. He almost said he's pumpkined. He almost said he's pumpkined.
Close. Only a few letters off.
Very, very close to pumpkined.
Only a few letters.
See you at Massa.
See you at Massa, everybody.
The thing that pisses me off is he literally just pulled his phone out and recorded that and uploaded it.
Yes.
There's just no effort into that right there. That's embarrassing. That's honestly embarrassing.
The effort that was required in that. Okay, so the next guy we have here is we actually have as soon as it'll load up, it'll take a second. There we go. So there was some filming that happened. A news organization. Hold on, we have a super chat that just came in. Flying Super Strawberry donated $5, and this was NIFB equals necktie insertion fetish brotherhood. Ooh.
Interesting. Saucy.
So, we actually had a news organization recently the Orlando Sentinel captured some footage from the protest where Steven Anderson was talking with the protesters. It's a minute and 43 seconds. Let's go ahead and watch this wonderful clusterfuck that has happened at the Massa concert. Protest, hate rally. Also, the $1 no context super chat from Robert Zaz. Thank you very much, sir.
I'm totally nonviolent. It's a spiritual battle. Okay, it's words that I'm speaking. I wish that every homo died.
Well, some people say
that just try to say that again, Anderson. Let's do this again, Anderson. Let's play it again.
I'm totally nonviolent. It's a spiritual battle. Okay, it's words that I'm speaking.
And then
I wish that every homo died.
Here's the problem. They believe that their prayer and their wishing works.
Which means that by praying for their Which means that by praying for their deaths, functionally they are taking an active part in murder as far within their framework. That said, we do have a $5 super chat real quick that I want to get into. This is from Catherine Knight Diaz. Quick question, what exactly is BreadTube? I know that book is about anarchism and stuff. I believe it's more about socialism than anarchism, I think. I could be wrong. I'll have to go back through it again. But what kind of unites all similar things y'all present? Basically, BreadTube is just your left-leaning YouTube, whereas your right-leaning YouTube, your popular ones are called the intellectual dark web. That's where you get your Jordan Petersons and your Ben Shapiros and stuff. Your BreadTube is more like your Vosh, your non-competes, your PigPunchers, me, Mr. Atheist. A big one is ContraPoints. That's where you're going to get your BreadTube stuff from. That's your a lot more left-leaning stuff. That's everything from your liberal people to your all the way to your more socialist people. That's your BreadTube sphere. Whereas your right-wing sphere is your no bullshits, your Steven Crowders, your Ben Shapiros.
Yeah, it's a good explanation of it.
That's probably the quick and simple. That also gives me a chance to give shout-outs for some channels that maybe somebody hasn't seen from this side. So. Yeah, in the chat, woo, Natalie. Natalie is the owner of the ContraPoints channel, who's probably the biggest BreadTube channel.
She is the biggest, and the most upsetting thing is, as the largest lefty creator on YouTube, no bullshit has the same size, and his channel is actually a little bit bigger than hers.
You did a video about that recently, about how the issue there is that a lot of your BreadTubers put a lot of research into their videos, which is good. That's what you should do. And it comes out with really high quality content. But then look at Natalie's production. Holy shit.
Yeah.
There are indie films with a smaller production budget than her individual videos. But when you actually have that type of content, as good as that content is, it's coming out every month or so because that's what's required to build those types of videos. And it's good. It's great content. But then you have your no bullshits that's literally able to just appeal to common sense and rattle off a video in 10 minutes. And his videos are all 10 minutes and 3 seconds, 10 minutes and 7 seconds, 10 minutes and 20 seconds, just to get that extra mid-roll ad in. And I'm just I do long videos. I've done edited content that is 40 minutes plus because there's that much shit to unpack in a no bullshit video.
I know. No bullshit is probably he's even the least respected person in the reactionary right, anti-SJW, intellectual dark web community. He's so no one likes him in there. Even the rest of the shitlords make fun of him, especially with the video of him sleeping at VidCon. That'll live on forever.
Was that Keem that took that video?
No, that wasn't Keemstar. That was Bunty King.
Okay.
Yeah, another reactionary. He actually he had a pretty good take on Twitter the other day. I was pretty impressed by Bunty, but he in the past has done the good old I can't be racist because I'm Indian. I'm not a white person.
And you know what? For they're actually There is a little merit to that. I disagree with the reason for that, though. The reason that there's a little merit to that is the academic definition of racism is prejudice plus power, and at least here in the United States, your white people technically have power over the minority groups. Therefore, any type of bigotry that is aimed at race from those minority groups, per the academic version, can't be classified as racism. But I disagree with the academic version. I think it's absolutely fucking useless. So, yeah, no.
Yeah, I just can't stand the argument of, oh, I can't be transphobic. I'm transgender. I
cough,
can't
cough, Blair White.
But yeah, you know, we didn't have. I mean, you're not wrong. You didn't have to say it. But yeah, Blair White, Lauren Southern, being like the female.
The thing that gets me so much about Blair, like Lauren Southern is a misogynist who is a woman. Which makes her true scum to that variant. And then you've got Blair White that will literally go, no, I understand. People don't want me in their bathrooms. I don't want to make them uncomfortable. That's okay. And it's like, do you realize what damage you're causing to people who are you? Do you not understand that? Do you not get it?
I can't stand Blair White, honestly, but she is pretty. I'll say that. She's very pretty.
Blair is quite attractive. But my biggest problem is that there's a reason that several people who are overtly transphobic agree with Blair White, and that is because Blair White reinforces things that they say. And just as Dave Rubin is more useful to the right as a lefty, Blair is more useful to transphobes as a trans person. Lauren Southern is more useful to misogynists as a female. Like, these are... And that concept can be used for good, too. I have said several times on my channel that allies to the LGBTQ/GSRM community are more useful as allies, separated by a degree, than they are as part of the community, because voices from within are sometimes not as strong as voices for advocacy. Just a weird way that, like, socio-political stuff works. So,
yeah, we talked about that on Non-Compete last night.
Yeah, so that idea functions for both good and ill. But I hate that that's a thing that happens. So when somebody's like, hey, why do you think that allies are better from the outside? And I'm just like, for the same reason Dennis Prager told Dave Rubin to his face he's better for the right as a lefty. The exact same concept.
Yeah, I really can't stand the tokenized, like, people who are, like, tokens that are from, like, a marginalized community. Probably my least favorite people in the world. Like, especially when there's, like, the one girl who's like, I'm not like the other girls. I hate feminism, think it's cancer, and I'm super edgy, and I'm racist.
And I'm just sitting there like, I guess you don't want to vote then. And she's like, no, that's not how that is. I'm like, no, historically, that's exactly how that is. Rights to work and rights to vote were classically and historically advocacies from feminism. Well, what about what it is now? It's the same thing now as it was then. The only difference is that now we have the internet, so the toxic vocal minorities are the ones that we get people like Sargon of Akkad jumping on. That's the only thing that has functionally changed. And then they're like, I don't like feminists, though. And I'm like, are you a fan of Matt Dillahunty? Like, if I'm talking to an atheist. They'll go, yeah, I love Matt Dillahunty. Cool. Matt's a feminist.
I love the male feminists are only doing it to get women argument. And my best, whenever it's a woman who makes that claim, my best response is, and I should have said this when I did that one stream debating this one girl, why do you think that? Is it because are you like really attracted to me right now? Is like my male feminism, like you just can't resist me? Is that what's going on? Is that why you're making that claim? that's a really good response to it.
Godless lady in the chat, you don't have to call yourself a feminist, have the ideas. I agree with you, because I call myself an egalitarian, for instance, and it leads me to have some of the same ideals. However, Matt himself identifies as a feminist publicly and has done so in debates. So I'm not saying that like he's a feminist by merit of entailment. He's a feminist by that's the definition he uses for himself and his political ideologies. Also, Matt Dillahunty's a cool person. I actually enjoyed when we went to Faithless Forum. We got to talk video games and eat lunch and stuff. It was cool.
Nice.
Yeah, him and Aaron Raw are way more chill in real life than you'd think.
Interesting. I've actually never been to like any cons or anything, or met any like in real life big YouTubers or anything. So one day it'll be interesting to kind of like meet some big people and kind of get along with them. That'd be interesting. I guess we can continue this video. Truth wins out. Oh no, I just noticed that. I can't stand the lack of self-awareness. It blows me away.
Also, we have a from Stu. It was a $9.99 super chat I hadn't gotten to originally. But with Stu said, I'm glad to see people tackling my former cult. Yeah, it's a thank. Don't just thank me though. If you want to thank anybody, the original bell ringer for all of this, who's been doing the most of the grunt work for everything, is Atheist Rationale, and he's been on my channel several times and has helped me with several. When I have an idea of wanting to tackle something with the NIFB, Sean, Atheist Rationale, is the person that I go to first before anything else. So thank this person primarily. I may be a good voice box, but he has done so much work for this.
Yeah, I just subbed to him earlier in the stream when he was talking in chat.
Paranormal Encyclopedia said that no bullshit is wrong very often, but he also releases 14 times more videos than Natalie. That's more times to be wrong.
Technically 30 times, because he uploads daily and Natalie uploads monthly.
Yeah, it says, I'm starting to see myself not as a feminist. It's too short. I'm more for human rights. That's the same reason that I call myself an egalitarian more than anything, is because it covers more. Because for me, egalitarianism is a broad category, and then feminism is a subcategory under that. So if somebody asked me, hey, are you a feminist directly, I could say yes if I wanted to. But I prefer egalitarianism because it, as a broad category, covers that and other concepts.
Yeah, I agree with like the concept of egalitarianism, although I don't take on, well, like I do, like I take on the label like, yes, I am pro egalitarianism, but I take on the label of like feminist or as like ally to the LGBT community, like specific labels, because I identified as a egalitarian back when I was like in the very beginning of like the alt-right pipeline, when I was like in the skeptic anti-SJW part, where I was like, I'm not a feminist, I'm an egalitarian, because feminism isn't really about equality.
Yeah,
and
that's
I'm really about equality.
And
yeah,
that's a you already know now that's a horrible argument. That's
Yeah.
why for me I said that it's a subcategory under it, which means that one entails the other. Now there are some people that will use it toxically. There are some people that can, and I agree that those people exist. I actually had an ex-friend of mine who told me that no, toxic SJWs don't exist, and I was like, I dated one for 4 years.
They do, but they're quite rare.
It's like you're going to tell me that these people don't exist. I recognize they're rare. They only sound like there's more of them because we've got people like Sargon that make their living off of making fun of those people. So it seems like there are more of them than there really are. So I get that, and I understand that. But to say that they don't exist, it's awkward. It's like
real, but you know, it's like attacking them on most things, though. Like especially with like what Sargon and all the rest of those assholes do.
Yeah,
it's nothing really. There's not much to get from that.
No, there's not. When you've seen it, if you watch 3 Sargon videos, any 3 Sargon videos in
You've seen them all.
Yeah, in any order, you've seen practically everything he'll do. Like, watch one of his videos with his avatar, watch one of his streams, and then watch one of his videos where, like, he's on camera trying to be funny, and you'll have effectively seen all the content on his channel.
Yeah, he's very stupid. I love how there's so much evidence that he nevel reads anything. He never reads a single source.
What actual things can an MEP propose? Sargon.
That's the whole job of an MEP, to be proposing ideas in order to get elected.
Like, dude,
he doesn't know what it is.
Like, you literally, when you are the type of person who has managed to make it to where 80% of the people who were going to a convention decided not to go, and it was supposed to be a conversation, and you're the only person from a political party there who can now converse, you've realized you're a bit of a problem. A bit of a problem. Just a little bit.
Yeah, God, Sargon is... Nah, Okay, we can continue the video. I don't want to rant because every time I start thinking, oh, I'm gonna make a comment about political violence. But really quick, I want to touch on what this guy said. They're not being violent. Well, they are, but I don't care. I don't give brownie points to people protesting an inherently evil ideology just because of the fact that they're peacefully protesting. I would ideally have them be like rushing people and attacking them so that people can rightfully attack them back. I would actually prefer that because
that's actually what Tommy has wanted. Tommy has said, Tommy McMurtry, one of the pastors there, has actually said, pray that things get violent so that we can use Florida's stand your ground law and fight back. And he's told everybody to be heavily armed while they're there. It's like,
square up, buddy. I'm ready.
and it's because he thinks that, we can win in a fight. And I'm just like, do you know how many ex-military members are in the audience protesting you right now? You are aware that like these people are trained in how to annihilate you quickly and efficiently.
Oh yeah, all these like bigots are always like stolen valor assholes. Like they have the military like bumper stickers and they have like a fake military uniform, but they're mostly stolen valor, you know.
Yeah, most of them. Like I actually have a friend who was in the army, and when he sees stuff like that, it gets him visibly angry because he's just like, no, I went out, I did the work, I did that. You don't get to do that. But moving on with the video itself.
Well, some people say it's just words, but words actually matter. When they say these horrible things about people, it can have consequences.
Yeah, that's correct. We've seen too many shootings going on, especially here in Orlando. The night of the Pulse shooting, I didn't even know about it, and I could have very well been there.
I want my children to live in a country where they don't have to look at these freaks every day and have their eyes
children.
Corrupted. I was part.
We have the rabid appeal to emotion there, which is think of the children. Yes, I am thinking of the children when I make pro GSRM or LGBTQ content, because when I'm thinking of the children, I'm thinking, hey, what type of stuff are these kids going to be watching whilst growing up? What things are going to shape their ideals and turn them into the people they will ultimately become when they're adults? Should it be a pastor yelling and screaming about the genocide of a minority group? Or should it be, I don't know, Mr. Ratburn's wedding?
Yeah. I'm not even going to talk about it. I'm not. No, don't endorse political violence, PigPuncher. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Okay. Don't do it. Don't get.
You can do it. You can do it. I believe in you.
In Minecraft.
In Minecraft.
Just we'll get political violence going on in Minecraft. We can schedule a big PvP tournament against these people, kick their asses in Minecraft, light them on fire, chop off their heads in the video game, of course.
I think it's weird. Also, somebody mentioned in here that they say think of the children, but these people actually have sermons on how to properly beat your child, especially if they turn out as gay. I believe that the exact words they used is, if your child cracks that wrist, crack that wrist. Break your child's bones because they're gay. Like this, what type of person do you have to be to think about that? And before I can get even more angry, I'm going to play the next part.
Of a church that called themselves non-denominational, and you've got to be careful with non-denominational churches because a lot of times they're extremists trying to hide under a general title. When my family and church realized that I was gay, things got violent.
They're defiling everybody by showing us all this filth and corrupting everybody.
That girl on the right is really cute. The girl that was just talking with the blue hair, really cute.
I was actually going to say that, just like, what kind of filth are you talking about? Just because her hair's blue? I grew up on Dragon Ball Z when I was a Christian. Bulma was a thing.
Yeah, it just means she's going Ultra Instinct.
Yes, that's all that means. She's just going to Ultra Instinct baptize you.
Yeah, I've never seen Dragon Ball, by the way. I haven't watched, I don't watch anime. I've seen Death Note. That's it.
We can't be friends anymore.
I don't worry. I'm watching more. It's okay. It's okay. Wait, there's a femme PigPuncher fan art? Wait a second. Has it happened? Is it in my? It should be in like my fan art room in my Discord. If you want to post any fan art, chat.
I think it might actually be. Oh God, why? Oh gosh, the things I have not put my. I have not put all the fan art that has been submitted. Let me go ahead and fix that real quick. I have now looked at the fan art section, and I have seen the other side of the void. So,
good.
Here we go. Let us take
Furris, no.
It's gonna. Oh no, things are gonna get weird. Trust me. Things are gonna get weird.
Oh, I spoiled myself. I saw the Furris one.
Okay, so one, I don't have any issue with furries. I am not myself a furry, but I do get a lot of furry fan art.
What the fuck?
I know, trust me. Okay, here, watch. So here is we will start with Furris. This is a work in progress one. This one is from. I need to scroll up for the artist. This one is from Any in the chat, not in the chat here, in the chat on Discord. That one we're gonna go ahead and resize down and get over here because we have a few to go, and I'm turning these small. Not because I don't want them seen, but because I only have so much real estate for the fan art section. And we've got a lot. Okay, so next, we have PigPuncher fan art.
Oh.
He's sitting here ready to brawl.
Square up.
And then the next one we have is the next PigPuncher fan art. This is a femme PigPuncher in the soy milk.
Okay, I'm excited to see this one. It'll pop up on screen whenever.
I'm gonna go pop it up right there.
That's me. Oh, damn.
So we got.
I'd do me. All right.
You got femmed. Vosh got femmed during our stream as well. Just so you
really?
know, this is a
wait,
a normal
I remember
thing.
that. Yeah, I remember seeing that.
This is a thing that happens. Okay, the next one we have is this. I have no idea what I am staring at.
Is it the one I'm thinking of? Yeah, that was the one that I was freaking out about. What the fuck? That looks like a Dark Souls enemy.
My thirst for pumpkin blood has not been quenched.
What? It looks like a fucking Dark Souls enemy. It looks like there's things
Dodge roll
in like that one DLC where you go, or in that one place where you fight the nameless king.
Dodge roll, please. And then finally, we have my reaction when I see some things that appear on my channel. Just what?
No, I'm waiting for it to come up. It's an SCP Cirrus. Okay, it's a pretty good fan art.
It's
too.
an SCP Cirrus. Okay.
SCP 6666, I guess.
So, Ghost Chan was the one who did the what fan art. Tiny Beppis Boy is the one. I'm hoping I'm saying that correctly. Is the one who has made the absolute fucking nightmare that is in there. Jack and Quill is responsible for the PigPuncher fan art, the first one.
Thank you.
And then I Am Oddity is responsible for the fem art of PigPuncher.
Big Dick Energy. Or other whatever the reverse of that is. If you're a
So
woman.
you know what? No, this when I think Big Dick Energy, I'm gonna think this now.
Which one? Oh, I'll see it pop up in a second on the stream.
This is now Big Dick Energy, the meme. Do you have?
So disturbing. Is it also Rule 63 as well, or is that just pecs?
I think it's pecs. I think it is.
I don't know if it would be better or more disturbing if those were titties. I don't know.
Excellence USAF in the chat. Fantastic long Cirrus. Yes, there's long Cirrus is wonderful. Also fits very well on body pillows from what I've heard.
God, if someone prints out a body pillow of me, I'll be happy. I'll be very content with what I've achieved in life.
Yup. All right, continuing on.
LGBT, it's all one category, sodomites.
What brings you out here today?
Wait, what?
So their term for anybody who's LGBTQ is sodomite, because one of the things that people were accused by God of doing in Sodom and Gomorrah were having gay sex and gay relations.
Well, yeah, and I know that, but like, you know, there's tons of people in the LGBT community that don't like I don't think lesbians have butt sex. I don't.
The legal definition for sodomy actually includes oral. Like anything that is not penis and vagubu is considered a form of sodomy legally.
Oh, so if okay, so straight like blowjob is also sodomy.
Yep.
Okay, well,
which means many of these pastors are probably
yeah, they're guilty of it legally at least. But no, by their definition though, I assume they're not using the legal definition. They're using like the pee-pee and poo-poo definition. That's literally what they imagine in their head. Pee-pee going into poo-poo. That's literally what they think of because they're childish.
Anderson has a sermon where he tries to explain how gay sex works, and he literally takes 2 screws and just starts smacking them together violently, and that's how he thinks it works. And I'm just sitting there like, I have a question, Anderson. As you do this, as you're imagining this gets the gay sex here, why do I see a nondescript boner in your pants?
I don't know if it'd be big enough to notice. I'm sorry. But what's very interesting to me is these people that, especially when they make the, when it came to the Arthur episode, like, I don't know if you want to expose kids to, like, you know, gay wedding. It's like, why is gayness so sexual to you? Why do you see it as like a sexual fetish? It seems like when you see a gay couple, you can't help but see them as like a normal couple. You have to imagine, man, I wonder if they like fuck each other in the ass, you know? But like if you see a street couple on the street, you probably don't think about how they fuck, you know? So it seems strange how all these homophobes, they can't help but imagine when they see gay people thinking about their sex life. But when children see a gay couple, they probably are just going to think, oh, the boy likes the boy or the girl likes the other girl. It's very interesting to me how these homophobes seem to be very obsessed with gay sex.
Nobody thinks about gay sex more than a homophobe.
Yep. Just damn right.
It's weird. The most nymphomanic homosexual of all time does not think about gay sex more than Steven Anderson.
I have no doubt that's correct. Yeah, I mean, yeah, generally.
Oh, Paranormal Encyclopedia in the chat. Good point. As to what rights are still not protected, in 26 states, job discrimination for being LGBTQ+ is still legal.
Yep. In 26 states, same goes for, I think, women as well.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, women, black people. I forget what it's called. John Oliver did a skit on it. I think it was called, like, the Equal Rights Act or something. 26 states have still not ratified it or approved it. One more state needs to approve it for it to go through, but also like the time limit for it, which was set in the 70s, passed. So they're currently trying to make it so it's like extended so it could still be passed. And one more state, if they were able to extend the time period, one more state approving it will be able to make it federal law. So, yeah.
We're trying to tell them that people are allowed to be who people are allowed to be.
What message do you want to send to them?
Love is love, and you should believe it.
Together, united.
Yeah, I got it.
United together, united we're one.
United together, united.
Sorry, freaks, I gotta go. Get in and done.
Okay, do I have permission to say I want to take this meteorite rock and beat this guy's head in like Cain did to Abel in the fucking field?
No. But you already did, but no.
This is a meteorite rock, by the way, if you guys want to check it out. It's really heavy.
That's cool. I've actually got a piece of... I've got a little hunk of obsidian over here, too.
Oh, hell yeah, some dragon glass. Nice.
I too am a fan of the neat rock.
Yeah.
But, no, when I'm not violent, everybody! Get AIDS and die!
I love how he's just so he's so mad. He's simmering. He's simmering under that suit. You want to know something really funny? He looks like my swim coach from when I was in high school swim. I don't know why. He looks like my coach for my swim team when I was in high school. I don't know why, but it feels uncomfortable to me.
Remember, Pig, You want to hit him with the meteorite in Minecraft.
Yes, a modded Minecraft where there are meteorites. That's where I want to hit him. Make it very clear. I'm talking about in a video game, not in real life, of course. I would never endorse political violence ever.
Truth wins out. Let's take a look at the comments real quick.
Hey man, Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you get this one. That's fine.
Hey man, Pastor Anderson did an awesome job, which is expected when you actually know and preach the Bible.
I love how Pastor Anderson isn't afraid to get in these reprobates' faces. Come on, dude.
Yikes.
Come on. I just have a naturally brotherly love for Pastor Anderson.
I'm sure it's very brotherly coming from a white person, you know what I mean? Because
my friendo Rini, I have a question. What is your proximity when you are having your brotherly love for Pastor Anderson? What is your proximity to Alabama? Just, I'm asking for science. The reporter at 15 seconds is leading the interviews into the desired response, which is basically that speech is somehow equal to violence. It is.
Oh yeah.
This is speech. This is speech right here. If I said today that I think that a minority group of any kind deserves to die, and I said that to 200,000 people, or 120,000, let's go ahead and just use the amount of subscribers Steven Anderson has on his YouTube channel. If I said that a minority group needed to die, and one person from that 120,000 was radicalized enough from that statement to go, by the way, this is the concept of stochastic terrorism, for those who don't know, one person from that group decided that they agreed so heavily that they were going to go shoot, beat, maim, any type of violence on one member of that minority group. I'm saying 1 in 120,000. This is a small amount. More have done this. All it takes is that your speech, by entailment, has led to violence. Your speech was what directly caused the violence. You can sit there and say, oh no, it was just the individual's fault. Yes, it was the individual's fault. However, you, as a public figure, need to always be wary of the end result of anything that you say in the public eye. And if what you say in the public eye can lead to the radicalization of people, Christchurch shooter, then you might want to stop saying the shit that you're saying. Saying speech is violence is confusing, symbol with referent. I think that pragmatically, when we're dealing with something like this, we do have to view these things as equivalent, because a direct incitement, while not the same as simply saying these people should, and it should be the government and blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, if it can lead down the same path, we have a problem.
Yeah. I mean, we'll take Lauren Southern, for example. I would say she is completely responsible for, or not completely as in it's all on her, but she is definitely responsible for the Christchurch shooting. She is the main spreader of the, or was, thankfully she's retired now. Lauren Southern is gone, crab rape. She is one of the main spreaders of the very conspiracy theory that the guy cited as his reason for why he wanted to shoot up 2 mosques in Christchurch, New Zealand. Speech and rhetoric absolutely is equivalent or equatable to violence.
Now I will say there is a conversation to be had, and I'm still not 100% certain on what side of the conversation I fall on, for how legally accountable we should hold someone. Because depending on, and this is why I have this stance. Do I think that from a pragmatic point of view, these things are equivalent? Do I think that these things, one thing that can entail and lead to another, is a problem and should be seen as you guys are grouped in the same category? You called for the violence of these people got hurt, you are a direct cause of this. Pragmatically speaking, yes, I think that's the case. Legally speaking, though, I don't know if holding people accountable for speech in that way is a useful way to go forward. I don't know. And the reason I say that is because I have a similar view when it comes to something like abortion. Do I think that abortion is evil in that if you grant personhood to the fetus, if you grant full personhood, which I'm willing to do for argument's sake, that aborting a fetus is murder? I'm willing to grant that that's the case, and I'm willing to grant that it's evil. However, I'm also willing to say that whilst an evil, it is the lesser of two and a necessary one in order to have a society that allows women to have true freedom over their body and their choices. So
Yeah.
it's the same kind of concept there, as I'm willing to go, in principle, this thing is bad, but legally, we should treat it differently, just like when it comes to speech here. In principle, I think that what they're doing is horrible, but legally, I don't know if the accountability should be held outside of, like, I'm trying to think, outside of, like, if you directly cause, and obviously we already have laws for direct incitements of violence, but what Anderson does is he skirts it. He, like, steps to the side and says it should be the government, and then you get a police officer who's a government official in that capacity and then actually tries to do so, which happened in Tennessee.
Well, the problem is they say it should be the government, and their goal is to be the government. They are putting people who are part of their congregation or whatever the fuck, trying to get them in power, or they already are. So I would say, there I go, almost advocating for political violence against these people again.
It's a weird
in Minecraft.
It's a really weird slope, and I recognize that, like, the slippery slope is a fallacy. It is. However, there is a reality to certain things that happen where one thing leads to another. Slippery slope is a fallacy, but perfect storms exist.
Yeah, well, okay. So I really don't like it whenever someone brings up, there's two of these phrases I keep hearing, the guilt by association and the slippery slope fallacy. These piss me off so much because, yes, for starters, with, like, the guilt by association, the people you associate yourself with, especially if you're a public figure, matter. If you associate yourself with fucking Nazi assholes, it's kind of on you. And then slippery slope, yes, if there is this kind of the way radicalization works, like you said, with the pyramid of stochastic terrorism, it is progressive. It is a slippery slope down into a rabbit hole, one might say.
And
so it is very valid to talk about that.
And what happens, for if anybody's wanting to know the term that sociologists have used primarily when we use stochastic terrorism, lone wolf terrorism is what you will find in the annals of academia pre-2017. I say this because I've taken time to look through these things. I've actually sent PigPuncher an article from that that was graciously sent to me from Callan, who actually does work as a sociologist. But what you find is that somebody will say, well, on the whole, does this lead this way? Well, no, and that's why slippery slope is a fallacy. That's why it functions as a fallacy, because the slippery slope fallacy is saying, well, does this necessarily mean that you'll go from point A, B, C, D, and E? No, not necessarily. However, did the Christchurch shooting happen? Yes. Okay, cool. So we still have a perfect storm in which this happens. Fallacies exist as general rules, but there's a reason the fallacy also exists. Because the fallacy is the check and balance for saying that your conclusion's wrong because it's fallacious. The conclusion can be right and still be fallacious. The Christchurch shooting would be an example of this. The conclusion is right. Point A, B, C, and D were met all the way down, even with slippery slope being fallacious.
Yes, there are literally people who argue, so he watched some Lawrence Southern videos that taught him the truth about how white people are becoming a minority. You can't say that's that caused the shooting. That's
and then you read his manifesto, and you see that is exactly what happened, because he literally has an entire section in the manifesto about him sitting in the middle of a French parking lot and just looking around at the people that were who were walking, and he specifically called them the invaders. Bear in mind, this person wasn't even, if memory serves, he wasn't even French. He's
Australian.
He was visiting, and he said that they were the invaders by merit of them not being white.
Mm-hmm.
And then and you see this throughout all of his manifesto. You see it throughout everything. And
and then on top of that, the phraseology. Invaders, same thing that Lauren Southern says, by the way. She calls them invaders as well. Sorry.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's like how many, like, do I think that we should hold her directly accountable for the shooting? No, I don't. I think we would have a functionally worse off society if we used that as a metric by and large across the board. But there is still a point to be made about whether somebody who has public power, because when you're a public figure, you have that. I have a measure of public power. Over 19,000 people, there is a small degree of influence that I have, and I have to be responsible with that influence. By the way, if I am ever irresponsible with that influence, please let me know in the comment section so that I can fucking fix it. Just saying. So there is a measure of responsibility you have when you're a public figure. And I think that people like Lauren Southern and Ben Shapiro and Alex Jones, they don't agree with that. They don't think that they should be accountable in any way. And again, there's a difference between legal accountability and social accountability. Do I think they should be legally accountable? Like I've said before, I'm torn on the issue. I think that we have a worse society if we do. But socially accountable? Abso-fucking-lutely. Blast them on Twitter. Blast them in their email. Blast them everywhere, because let people know, hey, you fucked up. We are a society. This is how things work.
Yeah. I mean, so what upsets me is the whole, you can't be accountable for your audience argument. I hate that. Yeah, so I'm glad you touched on that. God, I'm this like, reading this homophobic stuff like exhausts me.
It really does. I also love here, it says, Jesus did not have two fathers. The unmolested KJV is even careful to say that Jesus was the only presumed father, but he was not. You can thank the sodomite made NIV for changing the original phrases like Joseph and his mother into his father and his mother. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this out of the way here. This requires Trinitarianism. This whole argument requires an appeal to Trinitarianism. Let's break Trinitarianism down with math for fun. Who here is familiar with mathematical logic in just a broad sense? Just a broad sense.
I understand a fair amount.
So, God the Father is God, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll call God D. God the Father is A, so A equals D, correct?
Mm-hmm.
B is the Holy Spirit. Is the Holy Spirit God?
Okay.
Okay, so B equals D. C is Jesus. Is Jesus God?
Well,
for Trinitarianism.
Don't they claim that he's like God, but the Son of God, but not really? It's weird.
Yeah, but for the experiment, Jesus is also a deity, and there's only one deity in the monotheism, so Jesus is God. So okay. C equals D, A equals D, B equals D, C equals D. Now anybody who has taken a brief compulsory math course in high school knows that if your math states this is algebra, A equals D, B equals D, and C equals D, therefore C must equal A. B must equal A. They're all equivalent, they all equal D, so they must all be equivalent to one another. Except they're not per Trinitarianism. So if A can't equal B and C can't equal A, how the fuck can A equal D, B equal D, and C equal D? If you break it down with simple math, it is nonsensical, and that's a bad thing.
Oh, and so that guy was... okay, I get it. Also, I'd like to point out really quick, look at this guy's name really quick,
mm-hmm.
and then scroll up all the way to the top of the comment section.
He's commented twice.
They always do that. They like watch the video and they constantly leave comments as they watch it, and like it's so cringe. The reactionaries all do it.
Robert saws in the chat, logical statements aren't math. Actually, logic and math are synchronous. They're idiosyncratic. Because mathematical logic is the numbered breakdown for a system of premises. So if I give you a syllogism, it can be broken down both syllogistically and mathematically. This is This is not as simple as Logic 101. It's not really a simple concept. Mathematical logic is awkward to run through, but they are syncretic. These things are consistent with one another in philosophy. A little bit of perusing SEP and the IEP is also useful for this Internet Encyclopedia Philosophy. It's a little easier to digest. Both of those actually have some pretty good breakdowns for mathematical logic.
Yeah, that's definitely not my series of activities.
It's okay.
I'm just like, yeah.
It's all right. No, math logic is also something that I'm not terribly good at. I can only do it in its most basic form. If somebody tells me my proposition is this, I'll go, okay, P equals this, and going down all the way. I can get some of that. And the only reason I can even like read mathematical logic sometimes is because I used to do programming, and a lot of the stuff is the same. So I'm just like, I can read it, I can kind of get it. I'm not great at it, but I do understand it in its base forms.
Okay. Oh, damn, my new video is right there in that recommended, right there up next. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, the alt-right isn't a meme anymore.
Yeah.
So, that said, that's the protest. What we have next is the Q&A section.
Oh, boy.
For them. I don't want to go over the individual pastors because we don't have time for that. We also get on tangents all the time, which is fine. It's good. But we have the Q&A for Massa.
Okay. Maybe some of my big questions
I got this
will be
one
answered.
too. They're both green. All right.
They got some 10
Okay,
out of 10
what we're
audio
gonna do
quality.
Right now, we are going to have a question and answer session here with the pastors. So, of course, when it comes to this doctrine, while it's been mentioned that many churches used to preach on this, many pastors...
Hold on, real quick in the chat. Why break it up? Because you're a dude that likes makeup. Because if you have a word for a dude that likes makeup or feminizing makeup, it is better to have that identifier because it is easier for communication. Singular identifiers are a staple of interpersonal communication. Having more singular identifiers does not make conversation more complicated. It actually makes it more concise, and concise conversation is easier to digest. So when people say, "Oh, what about multiple pronouns? What about all of this stuff?" All of that comes down to communication. This is why these things are also considered social concepts.
Yeah.
So, anywho, I just had to get that out of the way for fun.
Pastors preach this throughout the years. It's something that's kind of fallen by the wayside because of the fact that many preachers are scared to preach against the homos because it's hard to talk about reprobates without talking about them, and that's not a popular subject. So a lot of things have just kind of been forgotten, and then...
Okay, Mr. Gordophile, look, we don't need to be talking about sexual attraction around here.
I wish one person was there. If I was there, I would just go there purely to go up on the to ask the question, "Why are you gay?" Like the one famous interview, and the guy I think it was like an African guy is like, "Why are you gay?" And then the guy's like, I don't know. I would just Jesus. I don't know.
Also, Aaron's chair in the chat wanted me to address the fact that none of their suits fit. They're all wearing suits like Sargon does.
Oh yeah, aren't they like too small or too big?
Stream
with
froze?
Sargon, yeah, I can tell. There is some the guy on the middle, the just away from the middle on the right is wearing a suit that seems way too baggy for him.
I need to do a thing real quick. I need to go to live dashboard.
Oh yeah, the stream was lagging for a second.
Yeah, let's see what's going on there.
Yeah, it seems fixed for me now.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and check this real quick to see what's going on here. Do I see myself and hear myself? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Please load. It is taking forever to load.
3, 2.
Oh, nope. Yep, there we go.
There we go.
So no, things are working.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I sound tired as well, by the way. I usually go to bed at 1 a.m. and it's almost 1 a.m.
Fair enough.
I'm down to stay up for a few more hours, but I'll be tired. So
it shouldn't take us a few more hours to get through this. Granted, it's a half-hour long Q&A session, but I don't think there's going to be enough. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I was going to say there was not going to be enough stupid in this to go over, but
Well, I feel like as I get more tired, I'm gonna have like less of a capacity to handle the bullshit. I'm gonna start getting like really angry, and that's gonna be really entertaining for people to watch.
Fair.
So that's gonna be exciting.
Let's see what we got here.
And also, there's a lot of misrepresentation out there about this doctrine and what we preach on it. So I wanted to ask these pastors some pretty common questions that I get. And we're not going to spend a lot of time defending the reprobate doctrine from the Bible, but really I think just answering some very relevant questions that come up when you start talking about these things. And I figured, these are men qualified to answer these things.
No, they're not.
So anyway, I'm going to kick this off.
Really
What kind of
not.
way we're going to do this, I'm going to ask each one of you pastors a question individually that's kind of yours, and then the rest of you, if you'd like to maybe do a quick follow-up on that answer, you can. But I'm going to kick this off with Pastor Jimenez. So he's going to get the first question, and this is a pretty common one. And you covered this a little bit in your sermon, but I'd like you to maybe elaborate a little more on this, because
Jesus, it takes them so long to get to a point.
Yeah, it's like they're padding for time to get more ad revenue, but
does the sin
not
of sodomy
making a YouTube video.
automatically make someone a reprobate? So, for example, the Bible says
Their
the blood
answer's
of
gonna
Christ
be yes.
cleanses all sins, but
Actually,
apparently you guys
surprisingly,
think sodomy's not covered.
I think you may be
And what
surprised.
about somebody who, commits a homosexual act while they're under the influence of alcohol or drugs? Maybe they experiment. Does that sin?
He
make
knows a lot
someone
about that.
See my sermon. No, I'm just kidding.
I want to say I hate that joke, but I've used that joke while public
simply
speaking.
The act of homosexuality does not make you a reprobate, and I did mention in the sermon that is
I'm surprised.
The fruit of being a reprobate. That's not what makes you a reprobate. It's not like
So what he's doing is he's saying that the sodomy does not make you a reprobate. It's just 1 degree of separation away from the thing that makes you a reprobate, which is just being a reprobate, according to him. In their view, having homosexual sex is not the sin. Being a homosexual is the sin. Which I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I think that just might be a bit of a way for them to just say. And Anderson looks at Robert Jimenez and goes, "No homo, my dude. I just want to slip it in."
Yeah, that's okay. So that means that lets them make it so they can jack off to lesbian porn, and it's not a sin.
It's not a sin that they're just enjoying it. I mean, it's not like they are lesbians.
Yeah, it's just as long as they just do it and they say no homo afterwards, it's all good.
Yeah, which is
God,
weird.
I can't stand these people. It like drains the life force out of my body to see such bigotry and stupidity. It actually just makes my eyes like roll into the back of my head.
And then you just start to go insane a little bit.
Yeah. All right.
The homosexual act is the unpardonable sin. Now there are unpardonable sins, but that's not necessarily one of them. And
yeah, like what? What is an unpardonable sin? What is a sin by your doctrine that prevents somebody from getting to heaven? What sin is so great that Jesus Christ cannot cleanse it?
I thought it was, if you pray Jesus, you get cleansed. Like I feel like
it was
even murder,
doctrinal. Yeah, like that's
even murder is acceptable under certain circumstances, right?
Like what is an unpardonable? I don't think he's going to get to what's an unpardonable sin. I don't, but if he does, I'd be surprised.
Point is this, and I think we need to be clear on this, because obviously you do have situations where people are on drugs, alcohol, they do things, they regret it, but even more than that, you've got
speaking from personal experience, I'm sure.
And this isn't something that happens. I don't think a lot of straight people get drunk or high and end up having some gay sex.
When you do those things to kids, they may be confused. Now we have children that are.
It's just the way that they can say the weed is bad. Everybody, it leads to the gay sex.
Yeah, of course. Also, this guy's doing Think of the Children. That's the same shit every time with the Think of the Children stuff. Like, okay, hold on. Is Matt Powell still in chat? Hold on, I want to see.
I don't think he is.
No, he's not. He was earlier, like a little bit ago. But yeah, I was gonna say, like, why do you guys think that when children see gay people on the street or something or in a cartoon, they're gonna start thinking about their sex life? It just blows me away. I don't know. Like, once again, just
I
it
saw
seems like
I
the
saw
children argument is
marriages.
so bad.
Like I saw marriages on television as a child, and without any idea, I can tell you the piece of media that caused me to become aware that sex was a thing. And it was not any amount of marriages I saw on TV through cartoons or anime. It was when I watched Species for the first time. And the plot of Species is a female alien comes down to fucking procreate. That's what it took for me to become aware that sex was a concept. And then I had to ask my mom, hey, what were they doing before she murdered him? It looked fun.
How old were you?
I want to say 12 or 13. Something like that.
Oh, damn. I knew what it was when I was like 6, I guess. Probably around
But
then.
like it took a piece of medium that explicitly had sex in it for me to ask what that was. I wouldn't as a child see Mr. Ratburn's Special Day and then like in the last 2 minutes of it go, Mama, are they gonna fuck?
And how are they gonna do it? Are they gonna do that?
He don't have one of
Sodomy
them.
right there on the stage, right there on the goddamn cake.
Jake 3D in the chat just got here and heard they're thinking about their sex life. It blows me. What's going on here?
I mean, things are being blown. But
memes are happening. Also, cat is happening.
Oh, should I get my dog here? Emmy, come here.
Yes.
I have 2 dogs actually. Let me show the stream and you guys. So here is the best one. She's Ginger and she's the baby. She's a little orange Pomeranian and she's very old, but she's also my little princess and I love her more than anything. And there's the little Yorkie. She's also a little princess and I love her second most. But Ginger's the best because I've had her for like 8 years. She's very old. Emmy is very young though. But they're also very small. Like Ginger weighs like 8 pounds. Emmy weighs like 4, so they're like really small dogs. Yeah, those are my little doggos.
We're gonna be getting a doggo here in a few months, but right now we just have our cattos. And this little rescue that finally has a personality. We had to get her to the vet. She had a miscarriage, and the babies in her went necrotic, so she had to get a shot for the infection in there. But now she's feeling perky, and she's back up. She's actually gaining weight now, which is good. I'll be very happy. Yumi's a good girl.
I've been trying to plump up Ginger because she's been getting skinny because she's older. So I've been maybe not getting the fat off of because we only feed her. We feed them ground beef and ground up chicken and turkey. It's all they eat. They don't eat like dry dog food or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's how we feed them. They're very spoiled.
I was gonna say what the vet recommended us for getting Yumi's weight up was feeding her kitten food instead of cat food because it's more like nutrition dense. Because it's meant for accelerated growth. Yeah. So something like that might actually help out. I know they don't eat but they might have like wet puppy food that they could eat. Did you just knock my knife off the table? You're a jerk.
Uh-oh.
I rescind all of my pets, Yumi. Why are you cuddling my microphone?
Oh,
kitty. Okay,
it's a nice cat because most cats that I know are like mean.
No, all of ours are very, very nice cats. You can like Yumi. I can pick her up like a baby.
Aww.
And she just purrs.
I can't do that with any of my dogs, especially not Ginger. She's got a bad back, and that would be bad for her.
Yeah, that's fair. She's a good girl though. She's a good girl.
The crazy thing about Ginger, the red Pomeranian one, is we got her in 2011, and she was like the vet was like, yeah, she's probably like 12 years old. She's pretty old, and I was like, oh no, I love her, but she's probably gonna die in the next few years. Now it's 2019, and she's still alive, and she's still got some perk in her step, and we're like, she's like getting like she's up there. She's like over 20 if the vet was correct. So it's like, why is this dog immortal? Because she's acting like she did when we got her.
The dog will outlive you.
I hope so. I mean, I would love for her to outlive me.
they're growing up in a society where they're literally being told at school, try it to see if.
Find me the school.
No?
Find me the school where the teacher is looking at little Timmy and going, Timmy, you know what you should try when you get home? You should try the gay sex.
Yeah. But this isn't something that's happening. He's literally lying. He's on the stage lying right now.
Like what teacher is doing that? I'm confused.
It's something that you like. So simply saying if you've done the act that makes you a reprobate, it's more complex than that. And the terminology that I would use, and of course the pastors here can add their thoughts, is that Romans 1 talks about that they burned in their lust one towards another. So the difference between...
They have to be really gay.
Like, they gotta be, like, sweating when they see another dude. Like, oh my god, I want to get that fucking ass, you know?
That's basically what they... That's basically what they think has to happen, is you have to be for them, they say that all homos deserve to die, but then here in this sermon, they say, oh no, you have to be like a rabid nymphomaniac.
Well, what I'm getting the impression of here is you can have gay sex and not be gay. Like, it's unironically the no homo, though, at the end, you know?
Yes, the group of men trying desperately to impress each other with their dress are making a case for the no homo argument. I can just imagine the orgy that happened after this.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong.
There were gently used jack-o'-lanterns, I'm sure.
Lava lamps and jack-o'-lanterns.
What we're going to be dealing with over the next several years or decades as we're in ministry is that there will be young people that have been told in schools and whatever, try it, and then they're going to be coming to us saying, I tried it, does that make me a reprobate?
No,
the idea is that
it's not a thing
there's a difference between someone who did it because of drugs, alcohol, just because they were told to or whatever, peer pressure, and they
have you ever considered
realized it was wrong.
Have you ever considered that one of these people had the gay sex just because they were in fact gay and that is what they were attracted to? Is that a thing you considered? Because like,
well, they see it as a perversion or as like it's a choice that people make because they're into some kinky shit. That's what they honestly believe. I honestly don't believe. They don't, well, they're religious. They don't care about science. They're like rabidly religious. So they don't care about science, I should say. So they don't care about the scientific consensus that gay people don't just decide to fuck people of the same sex or gender. They believe it's like a choice rather than something that they're born as. And so they don't understand that very fundamental level. So they've built this fucking terrible ideology on a foundation of bullshit, and that's why they're saying things like this, and they have so little self-awareness.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Regret it. They're sickened by it. There's a difference between that person and someone who's burning in their lust and their desire towards that. So that I would say the answer is no. The act doesn't make you a reprobate, but if someone who's living that lifestyle, has been living it for years, and is burning in their lust one towards another, they are a reprobate, but not because they're not doing it. That the act didn't make them a reprobate. They're doing that because they are a reprobate.
Which, by putting it as a degree of separation, it's like saying, you're not a murderer because you killed somebody. You're a murderer because it's like, no, that
because you wanted to kill somebody.
Like, that degree of separation doesn't fucking work.
Yeah.
Yumi, are you okay? Did I not pet you enough?
This doesn't even work in their shitty logic. Like, so does that mean that a gay person can never have gay sex, but they're just like they're attracted to guys, and that's what makes them? Wait, it doesn't even make sense though, because you can't choose to be attracted to people of the same gender, like or sex. You can ask them if you really tried. Like, do you really think you could find yourself to be literally like filled with lust to be attracted towards somebody of the same sex? There has to be something there that makes you attracted to people of the same gender or sex, right? Like, it can't something that maybe you're born with, something beyond just like choice. I don't know.
It's just it's strange because like it's the same thing when you're dealing with like a fucking People that think that beliefs are choices. If you're in the audience right now and you think that beliefs are a choice, this functions for like sexuality as well. Do me a favor in chat, or not in chat, but just in general. Believe wholeheartedly right now that Australia doesn't exist. Hi, Yumi. Believe that it doesn't exist right now. Go full flat earther. Not LARP being a flat earther. Believe it. Be that. Can you? And when you fail, you'll have been able to understand how beliefs aren't choices.
Yeah, your views, your beliefs are completely a subject and a slave to your upbringing and your environment.
Texas Heathen in the chat. Cirrus, what is Australia? Look, okay, I just need you to understand that Texas is the largest country in the United States, and that's why you don't know what Australia is.
Amazing. Amazing. Amazing.
I love how Anderson almost spoke.
All right. Well, then let me kind of follow up this with Pastor Anderson. All right, I want to ask you this one. So, as he mentioned, there might be kids that are being brought up in abusive situations.
You mean like your church?
Yeah.
So some of them could possibly identify as LGBT. So do you think everyone who considers themselves a part of the LGBT whatever community is a reprobate?
Just a quick aside here. This is why I think that GSRM is a more apt descriptor here, because there's in several videos that I've made before, I've had to say LGBTQ depending on where you want to end the acronym. It's so much easier to just say GSRM, gendered, sexual, romantic minorities.
That is actually, I've never heard that. Like
I'd only recently started hearing it from Mr. Atheist's channel, but that it actually functions very well because it covers it when you have LGBTQIA+,
yeah, it covers everything.
Instead of having all the individual letters, you just have these are the broad categories.
Yeah, and so like lesbian, gay, bisexual, those are all included in one letter. Yeah. Okay. I like it. Yeah, I'm probably going to start using that. Thank you.
GSRM just functions for this.
Well, I think that every single person who is an LGBT is a reprobate. Every single one of them.
An LGBT.
No normal person
Are you an LGBT?
Listen here, you LGBT.
But I do think that there could be people who identify as one, but they're not really one. You say, well, why would they do that? Well, because our culture is so weird now that this is like trendy or cool.
Actually, as much as I want to disagree with Anderson here, there is a small movement called political lesbianism.
Oh yeah, where it's like I'm done with men, I'm going lesbian.
Yes, and it's and so like I hate
a deviant.
Oh God, no! Yumi played the video. Yumi wanted to listen to Pastor Anderson. No, you're a monster.
Creationist cat too.
But no, this is like I hate that there's like that little bit of merit to what he just said. But political lesbians, I don't know if he's talking about political lesbians, but by merit of that subset existing, there is that little bit of merit to what he's saying. Now, granted, if I said political lesbian to him, he might not agree that that's what he's talking about. But I hate that that's a thing.
No, he wouldn't, because political lesbianism isn't that like I guess they don't have like a burning lust for the same sex or gender, so they wouldn't count as being
reprobate. He wouldn't consider them a lesbian because they don't have the burning lust. Okay, yeah, that's a fair point. So he in his categorical statement would not put them in that model. I guess that's Anderson being inconsistent. Who knew?
Right wing destroyed. I hate these people.
Hold on, I just got a thing sent to me that I need to check on real quick. Let's see if it's here. Okay.
I should make myself some coffee.
Holy crap, we just got a animation in.
Oh.
Let me go ahead and get that thrown into the stream folder real quick. Stream folder, where are you? I have you here. I know I do. So we're just going to take you, cut, no, not the name. I don't care about the name. I'm so disorganized. Stream, boom, boom. And then we head over here. We have an animation. Hold on. I can't. Am I drunk?
Am I drunk? Yes.
Yes, X. Heyo.
What is this a reference to?
I do not know. But I have a very tiny waving Cirrus animation, and it's adorable.
I like it. It's a little, just a little, waving the hand.
Hello. Yes.
I like it.
Raz is wondering if I'm still streaming. I am. Not for terribly much longer. We're not going to go through this entire 30-minute video. This is.
Yeah, if you want, we can go into the other stuff as well.
I'm going to do I'm going to finish Anderson's thing. Because if there's anybody I have a problem with, he's the one.
Yeah, he's disgusting subhuman filth.
So let's go.
So, especially with teenagers, they might just want to be a rebel or just kind of make their parents mad or make their teachers mad.
So
or
he thinks
whatever.
it's a choice. He thinks it's a choice.
You're gay because you hate me. That is what he's saying. If my child is gay, it's because they hate me.
You know what, Dad? You want me to be more manly? Fuck you. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna get my ass pounded tonight, alright? And you can't fucking stop me.
You can't stop me from having copious amounts of gay sex, Dad.
I'm gonna come home in the morning and I'm not gonna be able to walk in a straight line and I'm gonna be a living cream puff. I'm gonna be leaking. Okay.
I will say this. Nobody, and maybe there's one or two people, but on the whole, I can't think of a single person in my mind that has been so angry at their dad that they became a twink. Out of sheer anger. A straight person, mind you. A straight person. That they just went, you know what, Dad? Screw you. I'm going to go find a bear tonight. I cannot think that that's a thing that has happened. But in Anderson's world, this is a common occurrence.
It's... this is confirmed for me. They do believe homosexuality is a choice. So in that case, how do you choose to have burning lust for a group? Okay, all right.
But see, what's funny though is that if you press them for it, they will tell you that they don't think that homosexuality is a choice. They will say that it's a curse from God, because what they've said in their doctrine before is that homosexuality is a product of being a reprobate mind, and a reprobate mind is what God throws you to, and it causes you to gain that burning lust. So even though everything they said here is consistent with it being a choice in their worldview, they will then say, but it's not a choice because XYZ, and then you just sit there and go, could you for just a solid minute be consistent, please? Please.
Oh God, their ideology makes no sense. It blows me away. You know what? It was worth it. It was worth getting my Discord account deleted.
Gaelic Knox in the chat, Jeremy, you have a new task for tonight. Emmett, what task are you setting? Are you setting Jeremy a task to find a bear tonight so he can get fucked? That's not cool. I don't know if Aaron approves. Jeremy in the chat. No. Oh boy.
And just come out with that. I know when I've been out soul winning, I've had some conversations with teenagers where I was giving them the gospel and then they told me that they were a homo, okay? And typically with teenagers, I'll still give them...
I don't want you giving teenagers the gospel, buddy. I know what that means. Don't pretend like I don't know.
Emmett, can I just say in the chat that you've literally just told your boyfriend, my metamor, in not in so many words, but you just told him to get fucked. You've just added a bear to the conversation.
Oh, Ginger's drinking water. I love my dogs. They're the best.
I just realized something horrible. There are some people that consider me, because of my like bulky build and chest hair and all that fun stuff, even though like when I did that none was visible, I recognize that, so fun joke. There are people who I've met who have said that I fit were I gay, I fit the description of a bear perfectly. Emmett, no, I do not like Jeremy in that way.
Well, yeah, you technically would. I imagine Vosh would too. And he
Vosh does. 10 out of there's no ifs, ands, or buts on whether or not Vosh fits the description of a bear.
Well, yeah, he also fucks dudes, so yeah, he would definitely qualify
by every qualification.
Yeah, like Vosh looks like the kind of guy that you could just like give a big old hug, and
then you suffocate to death because he'll just he
probably
consumes you with big dick energy.
He could probably break most people.
I probably could.
Just kind of like a. But no, he's like Santa Claus. Like give Vosh like a big old hug, big old leftist hug. All right, I'm gonna claw my own eyes out, but let's continue.
The gospel and just kind of hope that they're just confused. And I've actually gone through the whole gospel with one of these teenagers that said that.
Gone through the whole gospel. This is what he did. This is what he did, everybody. You see this book? He literally went through all... How many pages does this have? This is a fucking Gideon Bible, so it's weird. 1,185.
Jesus.
In the course of a day, you read 66 books to a person comprised of 1,185 pages. You did that. You in a single day, you did the whole gospel. You did this. Really?
I'm gonna go through. The text is small too, chat. Like
the text is very small. Look at this. Look at this, man. This text is as small as my penis. It's tiny.
Oh god. But no, like this isn't like that's small text. Like it would take like a whole day to read like a fucking paragraph of that shit. Oh lord. Oh lord.
I'm gonna go throw this back next to my Book of Mormon.
Wait, you have one of those? Yeah.
I have two of those. Every single time that the Mormons have stopped by, I'm just like, yeah, I'll gladly take a book. I'll gladly take one. It's one for my collection. Yeah.
The Mormons don't knock on my door anymore.
I'm just like, you know what? Yeah. Joseph Smith, he was a cool guy. He totally wasn't a con man. 0 out of 10. That's a false he didn't con anybody. Never once. Never, ever.
I love the South Park episode on that. That's one thing I can give South Park credit for, and the creators of it, their Mormon stuff.
Oh yeah, did you see they actually made a whole musical about it too?
Oh yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, but let's just say the Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons don't knock on my door anymore. All right, once a certain amount of them starts going missing when they knock at that house, they stop going there. I'm just kidding. But maybe I'm not. It's like when deer stop going to a certain type of part of the forest, so there's a lot of hunters, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm just kidding. This is all a joke. That was all joking, okay? That was being serious. All right, let's continue. I'm getting tired and delirious.
But delirium is entertaining.
I know, but like it's past my bedtime, all right? Oh, I gotta let my dogs out soon too. Ginger's standing by the door. All right, let's continue.
Yep, continuing.
And then I asked them, now, have you actually done that before? And they said, well, I've never done it, but, that's what I am. So they hadn't even done it before. They're probably just being confused by the culture and their school.
So I just need to go ahead and say, for pre-trib is a fraud in the chat, the gospel can mean anything from the set of your convictions to the four books, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. When you say the gospel, it can mean the whole Bible. It could mean the personal convictions of the pastor. It could mean the convictions of the congregation. It could mean a certain set of books that you hold as gospel. So just so you understand, it can mean anything. For the new independent fundamental Baptists, they have said that if you do not believe every word of the Bible, every single one, that you are not a Christian. By entailment, that means that every word, when they refer to gospel, they must be referring to the entire book. So you can go
that's a fair extraction.
Like you can call me an idiot in the chat all you want. Obviously, Anderson doesn't sit there for 35 hours reading the Bible to the guy. Yes, I agree with you. This is true. However, just as Anderson has a very inconsistent scripture on homosexuality being a choice or not, or a method of a reprobate, or a entailment of a reprobate mind, etc., he's inconsistent here as well. Pointing out Anderson's inconsistencies is a fun drinking game that will, in fact, cause death.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing I didn't start drinking when we started this like I wanted to, because, oh no. Oh boy.
I also see that there's a conversation in the chat happening about gender and sexuality, so let me go ahead and do a thing here real quick. For fun, gametic, if we're talking about gametic sex, we only have 2 variables in gametic sex, but if we are talking about chromosomal sex, which is something that everybody and their brother seems to fall down on, which I recognize is different than gender, we have XX, XY, XXY, Klinefelters, and the list goes on. So even if you're talking chromosomal, which so many people are, still can't even get a binary out of that. And then if we're talking gender, which is sociological, there isn't a number for how many of those we have. There isn't one. There are some cultures where there are 3. They have the concept of what's called the hedra. There are some cultures where they have more. There are cultures where they think there are 2. Which makes it completely relative and completely fucking arbitrary. Gender is a social construct. Deal with it.
A bunch of messages just got deleted from one person. Interesting.
From the person who's having this fight.
Oh, okay.
With people. Now, if you want to say that having gendered language in general is a problem, cool. That is a case that gender abolitionists have. And you know what? There's a case to be made there.
Yeah.
But we currently live in a society where we currently live with a language that is gendered. Therefore, having he, her, or he, him, she, her, they, them, going down the list, are functional and required for you to have conversation with the people who you are having conversation with. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it. If you're a trans person in the audience and somebody gives you an identifier that is not the one you identify with, best thing you can do is ignore them. Not because ignore it and it's going to go away. That's not what's going to happen. But because if somebody were to refer to me, a cis male, as a she, even briefly, there's no reason for me to respond at that point, because they can't be referring to me even if their intent is to refer to me. If I were to tell Callan in the chat, if Callan is still here, I'm not certain. If I were to tell Callan in the chat that she were male, which she is not, there's no reason for her to even respond to me at that point, because I cannot be addressing her because she's a her. That is her identifier. If you identify a certain way and somebody refers to you without your identifier,
that's a pretty interesting way to look at it. Yeah,
it's the same reason that I've people who constantly misgender people. I just call them Tim. I just call them Tim. And when they, and when, after the 3rd or 4th time, when they say, my name is not Tim, stop calling me that, I go, oh, so now you understand.
Yeah, they don't see it that way, but that is pretty fun to do. I would call, with like the Ben Shapiro one, just keep calling him Benji.
How's it going, Benji?
Yeah, just keep calling him Benji until he gets mad and is like, that's not what my name is. Like, oh, so what's your biological name, Ben?
Yeah, what is your biological name? Jake 3D says that's only if it's with intent. Obviously, you should correct them if it might be a mistake. If it's a mistake, yes. For instance, if I were to discover tomorrow that I do not feel as though I am categorically male, that I am categorically female in any way, shape, or form.
That's only if it's with intent. Obviously, you should correct them if it might be a mistake.
Okay. If I were to find out tomorrow that I discover that I'm categorically female by some measure, and then I request that somebody, hey, can you please call me female. I don't identify as male. And if that is a trend moving forward, then yes, correcting people whose intent is not to strictly misgender, yes, correcting those people is a good thing to do. However, some of the tactics that I use are for people who are being malicious. When somebody is constantly trying to misgender and constantly trying to do that in a malicious way, just calling them a name that they don't identify with is usually a quick way to get them to understand the concept pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's very it's a good way of kind of having them walk a mile in a trans person's shoes. Generally, the big issue that I find is they like transphobes really don't see trans people as being valid in the first place. So it's
like the I don't know if you watched the debate between Hunter and Vosh. That happened.
I watched the whole thing live.
It's like in the debate when Hunter was like, "Oh, they're not female by this classification." Vosh had to keep on correcting him and was just like, "No, stop doing that. They are female." And he's like, "No, they have to be." What was the thing that he did where he was like, "Oh, they have to be
passing.
They have to be passing to be able to go into the bathroom." And I'm just like,
where do you draw that line, though?
It's like where do you draw
look at him and you're like, yeah, okay.
Like for me, I forget what it was. There was a woman who was in the Olympics who they thought that she was trans because she was performing incredibly well, and she had a bit of a square jaw. And then they found through what can only be described as basically molestation because it wasn't consented. Found that no, she was assigned female at birth, so not trans in this particular capacity. And it's just like you do realize that one, that was a huge violation of their privacy. Like,
yeah,
no ifs, ands, or buts. Two, that leads us to the next thing of, you know, where do you draw that line? If somebody wants to say, if somebody like Hunter tries to say, if a trans person is passing, that's when they get to go into the bathroom. I'm like, you do realize though that if you have 3 trans women and they all start hormones at the same time, and they all have, and let's say that none of them go through surgery, either through not being able to afford it, not wanting to, etc. So 3 trans women all go on hormones at the same time, and a year later, they seem to be at varying stages of female presentation. Mm-hmm. Which one of them, who all started at the same time, which one of them is allowed to go into the bathroom? Any answer other than all 3 of them is wrong.
Yeah, that's the big issue. Like, there's no way to quantify this, and I really kind of wish hating Hunter in some of those parts, especially because I think Vosh let Hunter off on a lot of shit. Not necessarily, but mostly because it's like been a while since Vosh has covered Hunter stuff. But when you watch a Hunter Avalone video, he is clearly transphobic, but like it's been a while, so I don't think Vosh had that many examples to bring up. Like, oh, so Hunter, what about that time when you started out your video by putting on a wig and saying, "I'm Samantha. I am a guy who wants to pretend to be a woman so I can go into like it was like a really fucking terrible skit that he started his video with. Like a lot of examples like that I would really drill Hunter on if I was debating him, but Vosh hasn't covered him in a while, so I can't really blame him. But yeah, man, Hunter doesn't get off that easily with me.
My big thing with Hunter is just that when I see his content, I see somebody who's doing the same thing that No Bullshit does, in that he goes to the first thing he can find in a Google search and then throws that on screen and then says, "Look, I showed my source." And it's like,
yeah,
okay, but if I look in your description, I see none of this stuff linked, which is the thing that would be required for us to verify your sources. When you are doing presentation, like if you've taken a college course of any kind, when you have a bibliography, you have to make these things easy to locate. That's the whole reason that you even have a bibliography in the first place. And Hunter doesn't do that in his stuff. That's what I would grill him on, especially when he was covering the CEO of Mermaids in the UK, when he said that she was a hit for misgendering. Not her, but the
it was like the daughter, right?
Well, it's the daughter was the one being misgendered, but it was the reporter who was misgendering, and he said, "Oh, she's being hit for hate speech." And I'm like, hate speech shouldn't factor anywhere into that article.
Well, no, it was like a targeted hate campaign.
Yes, and it wasn't just that she was misgendering the daughter. It was that she was also saying that the mother was mutilating her daughter. So she was literally, I believe it was libel, is technically what that falls under.
Is claiming that the mother was like abusing the child. Yeah, terrible.
Yeah, which is different than misgendering.
Conservatives love to be dishonest and strawman things like that, or just like manipulate the story. It's very enraging to me.
Yeah, that's why I covered it, because I was just like, Hunter, all those tweets were available to you. You could have looked at them and literally seen the calls about mutilation and stuff, and like whether or not you agree with them, you do understand that that is a public call from a public figure, that another public figure has committed child abuse, and that's if found to be untrue, that's fucking libel, right? You does that not factor in when you make your video, my dude?
I don't think it does. I think Hunter, he is a reactionary, and so he's going to just continue to put out the stuff that his conservative audience will just eat up, even if it is factually wrong, and any information he has is just confirmation bias that, if you actually read the source, goes against what he's actually claiming in the first place. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's happened to me when I had a conversation about abstinence-only education, and they said, look at this article about how abstinence-only education works, and I read the article, and I'm like, in this many places, they say that it doesn't function. Did you read the thing you sent me?
They just read the title.
Cool, and just all the weird messages they're getting, or they just want to be different. Think about how teenagers want to stand out and be
weird.
Different. So they'll dye
It's weird. I don't like it.
Crazy colors or wear crazy clothes or whatever. They're just, sometimes they might just be trying to get attention. And it's pretty weird that anybody would actually come out.
Can I just go ahead and say that if you are a gay man or a gay woman or anything, any type of sexuality that is outside of your standard straight and narrow, and you are attempting to have sex with another person, consensual, the person you are trying to get attention from is probably not your parents. You're probably trying to get attention from that person.
Oh, I should also clarify, the kind of attention that someone would be seeking, or the kind of attention someone who's gay or LGBT in any way or anywhere there would be getting, isn't exactly positive most of the time. I should clarify,
They're not trying to get attention from you, Mr. Anderson.
I mean, either way, like even if the argument of, oh, they're trying to get attention was valid, the kind of attention they'd be getting would be very negative.
Agreed.
With
doesn't
that,
really make sense.
When it isn't
bless you,
true,
Ginger.
But I think it's out there. So.
Hey, we made it to the end of... Oh, wait, why is he handing it to Jimenez?
First of all, I'd like to add to that yeah, absolutely, I agree with everything Pastor Anderson said, and that's kind of the idea.
Of course you agree with everything he said. He's the leader of the cult.
Well, yeah, it's a circle jerk up on stage. We're watching a circle jerk on stage right now.
And but it's a no homo circle jerk.
Yeah, but no homo though.
No homo.
Of course.
That would make them reprobates.
Yeah. Well, no, they would have to have a burning lust for each other, though.
I think the orgy afterwards shows us that they have a burning lust.
They can still say no homo, and as long as there's not a burning lust, they aren't reprobates. So we gotta clarify. We wouldn't want to be dishonest.
Fair.
Like these fine gentlemen.
Yeah.
In their well-fitting
we're
suits.
Living in this insane society now where kids actually think it's cool, even if they're not, to identify with that.
Okay, but you do realize that, like, so it's either going to be one of these three things. It's either going to be bad, it's going to be normal, or it's going to be cool. And I'm okay with it being normal or cool. I'm not okay with you saying it's bad. Normal or cool is fine. I don't care. If being gay makes you more popular in school, ultimately, that says nothing. I don't care. That just means that you're not getting fucking oppressed by assholes like this. Cool. Excellent. 10 out of 10. That's a world I'm fine living in. But
yeah. They definitely are, and that's the world we're striving for. And they're getting so mad, and I love it. They are so angry.
They unironically used the word triggered, and yet here we are. Here we are.
They
So
they
I think that's where this conference, that's where this type of preaching is needed, is to help them just right off the bat. No, it's not cool. It's not something that you want to identify yourself with. To try to not have those situations.
So I want to point something out. One, that's as far as we're going to go into this particular video from Massa. This is probably the last thing I'm going to be doing today for the most part. But there's a thing I wanted to point out. In the conference, in the sermons leading up to the Massa conference, they said it's going to be standing room only. The room's going to be packed. Do you see a single person in that audience having to stand because there's not enough room for the chairs?
There's an empty chair right there. There's several empty chairs.
Standing room only.
Look behind the blue guy, the blue shirt guy. There's an empty chair there, and then there's and behind the red shirt guy on we're talking about along the aisle on the left. Blue shirt guy. There's an empty chair behind him. There might even be another empty chair next to him. The red shirt guy also on the aisle on the left. There's another empty chair behind him. There's some empty chairs going on here. This is maybe 100 people, maybe.
Standing room only, everybody.
Oh, that actually puts a smile on my face.
We had more people than this at the Faithless Forum when I went to go speak there. Sorry, you guys, you silly pastor people. We can manage that way better than you can.
Yeah, we're these people are dying out. Even if it is they're having this tiny little whimper of relevancy from the internet kind of spreading these reactionary politics, which is what we're seeing right now with the anti-SJW community. It is a dying whimper. It is their final lashing out of bigotry to try to remain in existence, I guess you could say, and we're going to stamp it out, and we're going to destroy bigotry's final little whimper of an attempt to take over the world again.
So I'm just imagining Anderson's. Let's just say Anderson's expiring. Old age is coming to him. He's sitting there in the hospital bed. His family's around him, and they're just like, Anderson, what do we do? What do we do? Who did this to you? Why are you being taken away from us so early? And Anderson is just sitting there. I mean, granted, he might be 90 at this point, because he's probably got enough money to pay for the hospital bills to keep him alive for a while. But let's say he's sitting there on his bed. I'm just imagining that his death rattle is just going to be the queers. That's what I'm imagining. It's just that's the thing. The last thing he's going to say is denigrating him. He's just going to denigrate a minority group as his last breath on earth.
his last words. His eyes grayed over with cataracts and old age, tears and snot dripping down his face as he retches out his final dying breath.
That's horrible. And I get that there's a particular morbidity to making fun of what's ultimately going to happen in someone's final days. Please bear in mind though that my final days are going to include writing up a will that says that at least 50% of my stuff will be given to the winner of a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament at my fucking funeral. So
that'd be amazing.
Post-mortem fun is not something that I don't plan on having. So, anywho, there was one video that you suggested that we go over before we end. What was that?
Oh, shit! What was it? It was the the LGBT museum. It's just something we can sit back and watch. We don't have to pause it or anything. It's just really fun to watch. It's only 7 minutes long. It's called, I'm going to send it to you on Discord, How Westboro Baptist Church's Neighbors Counter Hate. It's a really good video, so I'll DM it to you now on Discord.
Alan Animus in the chat said real Cirrus, not meat Cirrus. Okay, hold on. Fine, real Cirrus is here. Better?
Oh, damn.
This was a fan art that was sent to me by Sloth Girl Slowly.
That's awesome. My dog apparently is like developing a cold because she has sneezed for like 20 times in the last 5 minutes.
Ugh.
Are you okay, Gingy? Why are you sneezing? Are you allergic to homophobes and that's why?
So, there's a thing in the chat. Can gender be defined? I would define gender as the social norms and oughts that are assigned onto particular subsets of bimodal presentation.
I agree with that for the most part, yeah. I mean, gender is... it's interesting because I feel like I used to really disagree with the idea of, like, gender is on, like, a spectrum where you can have, like, a million of them, I guess you could say. And the fact that it is a social construct at the end of the day, I guess, yeah, it could be. So, I don't know. It's something I got to look more into and think about a bit more.
And said, so ought social gender exist? We are a social species, and so at the end of the day, we are not going to be able to. We are going to look for what is quickly definable in our social conversation. So, for instance, when you identify me as he, you are making without knowing my chromosomal alignment, my gamete size, without knowing what genitalia I have, without knowing any of the biological factors of my body. You are going to assign based on my phenotype, which is the only thing you can base off of. You are going to say he is just it's a quick and dirty thing that you can do. This is a thing we have in English mainly. So ought it exist? I don't know if I would say that gender is necessarily an ought, but it most certainly is an is, and we can't get an ought from an is. There's a reason we even call it the is-ought dilemma. But I can definitely see why in our current society, it is a necessity because it is currently the is.
Yeah, I think gender is definitely something that's useful, but at the same time, I think gender abolitionists do have a pretty good case on the table for kind of trying to abolish the ideas of. Jeez, Ginger, are you okay? Like the ideas of gender that we have now. This video is just kind of really enjoyable to watch. It's very feel good.
We can go through a little bit of it. Probably not the entire thing for copyright reasons.
Oh yeah, you know what? HuffPost. I don't want what happened to me to happen to you. Maybe you should watch it off stream.
That actually might be the best idea. Here, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and link it in chat for everybody.
Yeah, big organizations on YouTube. It's like, it's iffy. After what happened with my watching Key and Peele skits, I really don't want to risk it for you. It really sucks getting your shit taken down.
So, desired SNNA, ought we move to no gender rather than more? So, while I agree that may be like for a gender abolitionist, that would make sense. I also find that because our social structure is not set up to support a non-gendered society as of current, and I don't know what steps would need to be taken to support a non-gendered society, having more identifiers for the multiple classifications would be the logical conclusion, contingent on whoever happens to have a identifier that falls in the middle of the bimodal set. Anybody who has an identifier in the middle of the bimodal set, provided they are willing to give you what their identifier is. Contingent on that, I would say that that's where we ought to be at the moment, mainly because I don't know the steps that would be required to remove the bimodal set completely.
Yeah, I mean, so I think like a big thing gets in the way of like more genders, I guess, being added, I guess, or being societally accepted. A lot of it's just sort of like social shit, because like it is a social construct. So a lot of what stops that is social stuff. You know, people are very used to the idea of there being two genders. Like a lot of kids, especially here in Florida, are raised thinking that, or go to school believing that gender and sex are the same thing. So they come out of it with that opinion, and it's very stupid.
And I see that Kadama in the chat is bringing up David Reimer as an example. So the example with David Reimer, a circumcision was botched. And
yeah, I know the story. Yeah,
and this for the chat who might not. There was a circumcision that was botched, and they tried to have them live as a female. But see, here's the thing. What happened there was not just an experiment to see. Well, that was not an experiment to see if gender was a social construct. that's used as an example post hoc. 2, in that example, there were several things that happened that were different, that are actually arguments in the social category as well. One of these things is, whatchamacallit? One of these things is that we argue that a parent should not try to enforce a gender stereotype onto their child. A parent should not force the social ideas of female, the social ideas of male specifically, onto their child. I would say that the David Reamer incident is an argument that no one should be trying to force a child to live as if they are one gender or another. Because what happened is they tried to make David Reamer live as a female up until 14, where that shifted again. Now, I would say as a result of a lot of that, we ended up having that. So I don't know if that's necessarily a drop in the bucket against it being a social construct, especially considering that most sociologists whose wheelhouse this is agree with the social construction of gender as it is.
Yeah, I also love that experiment is brought up by transphobes so often as being like, look how disgusting like sex changes and like transgenderism is, but it literally validates transgenderism because it was a cisgender person who had their genitals changed to the point where, like, because they basically tried to give him a vagina, I guess. I don't know how good it, like, the surgery was back in like the 50s when this happened.
I think this was early, I think this was a not quite the 50s.
It was like 60s or 70s, right?
Let me see.
A long time ago.
Hold on.
It was like called the John Money experiment or something.
David Reamer.
60s.
Oh, yeah, born in 1965.
Okay, 60s. So yeah, I don't know how well it was back then, but yeah, raised him as a woman in every way, like socially and
they even tried to modify the biology to get you there, and they still had a person who
grew up and knew they were male the whole time, which tells us, at least when it comes to cisgender people, there is something beyond how you are like raised and your genitals and whatnot that kind of make you like there's a male and female brain, I guess you could say, because it is as simple as there being like if you have a transgender woman, the brain of a woman in the biological born in like the biological body of like a man. And that is how simple it is. And we saw that David Raymer experienced gender dysphoria.
Yeah, what I now granted, if anybody wants the long form of this conversation, me and Essence of Thought actually had this conversation as a pseudo debate on my channel about a month and a half ago, I want to say. And all the sources that we used, the individual sources that we used for study for that debate, are also linked in there. I believe there were 14 different sources, one of which is a full-on JSTOR article, a full-on study on this that's been cited multiple times. So for my full thoughts on this whole particular debate, I do have a debate on my channel where this has happened, which I actually found to be very enjoyable.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. Yeah, man, the NIFB. Did I say it right? Did I mess it up? Yeah, the NIFB. I'm not gonna lie, it was worth getting my Discord account banned because I want my audience to know, especially the LGBT people in my audience, to know that I'm not standing for this bullshit that's being pushed by these people.
Yeah. That said, I do think that is a good place for us to end this on for the time being. We have done a 3-hour stream so far, which is more than I usually do for this particular brand of things. But it was fun, and there was a lot of stuff covered, both on topic and off topic tangentially. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation, and Pig, I hope you enjoyed hopping on.
You too, man. I appreciate you having me on.
I appreciate you staying way past your bedtime.
Yeah, I need to get to bed. I'm tired. But hey, everybody, I hope you enjoyed watching. Really quick. If you aren't already subbed to me, you should subscribe to me. My name is PigPuncher on YouTube, all one word. There's a link in the description to follow me on YouTube. Please do, because I do leftist politics and help make BreadTube bigger. But yeah, I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate anybody who subbed to me and supporting you and just all of BreadTube, and I had a lot of fun. Hopefully you can have me on again soon.
Hopefully. We'll see how things go.